the 2015 World Series champions, the Kansas City Royals. Kauffman Stadium, and when you're here at Kauffman Stadium, what's it known for? The water fountains. It is one of the beautiful sights in all of baseball, the water fountains here at the K. We're getting set for Game 2 of this 3-game series between the AL West leading Texas Rangers and the third-place team in the AL Central, the Kansas City Royals. Justin Kutcher alongside CJ Nitkowski here. And CJ, the story for these two teams all season long has been starting pitching. The Texas Rangers, they have been struggling as of late because of their starting pitching. 4-15 over their last 19. But lucky for them, they've got their ace on the mound here tonight in Cole Hamels.
Well, the ace becomes such an important part of a baseball team because when you're going through a losing streak, you're counting on that ace to get it done for you. That's what they need from Cole Hamels if you're the Texas Rangers. And he has been great ever since coming over from the Philadelphia Phillies a year ago in that trade with the Phillies for Jake Diekman, and ultimately that large deal. And then looking at Yordano Ventura, this is a guy with a great arm, ton of upside. The Royals like him so much that they gave him that team-friendly deal, extended him, but he has not quite lived up to expectations. He's got the great fastball. At times we watch him, he looks really good, but for the Royals, they'd like to see a little bit more consistency and not a lot of margin for error for them right now as they trail the Cleveland Indians in the American League Central.
Leading off for the Texas Rangers in this game will be Jurickson Profar, who will DH for the Rangers. He is the talk of trade deadline and trade speculation. The manager, Jeff Bannister, last year's American League Manager of the Year. The rest of the lineup for this team. Right now we are experiencing some technical difficulties, so I'll just walk you through it. Nomar Mazara will bat second and play right field. Ian Desmond in center field bats third. Adrian Beltre will bat cleanup and play third base. Rougned Odor at second will bat fifth. Elvis Andrus at short will bat sixth. The bottom third of the order, Mitch Moreland at first. Robinson Chirinos catching, and Delano DeShields in left field will bat ninth, and they will face the hard-throwing right-hander Yordano Ventura. It is a warm evening here in Kansas City. It has been scorching over this past week. Temperatures in triple digits. Yesterday, heat index of 108.
Is that all? Feels a little bit warmer than that here, but that's what you get in Kansas City in the middle of the summer. For these players, I don't know if it's one of those things we talk about a lot, whether or not you can actually get used to this heat, but you manage it, you find a way to make it happen.
We are all set for baseball as Profar will step in, the switch hitting DH for tonight's game, batting lefty against the right-hander Ventura. And the first pitch fastball is in there for a strike. 0-1. 94 degrees is the game time temperature. That's the temperature, not the index. A little breaking ball. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
You know, one of the things you have to do as a starting pitcher when you're pitching in these kinds of temperatures is to be able to pace yourself, to be able to stay cool. It's not like it is at the beginning or the end of the season. This heat can absolutely wear a guy out, and you have to be able to manage that when you're out there trying to hopefully throw at least 100, 110 pitches for your ball club.
1 ball, 2 strikes here to Profar, batting .298, 4 home runs and 14 RBIs. A guy who is at one point one of the top prospects, the top prospect in all of baseball. And with a trade deadline coming up and rumors swirling all around baseball, he's one of the names that is being mentioned. And he is increasing his value by learning how to play all over the field. The infield, the outfield, a switch hitter. And you wonder if he's going to remain a Texas Ranger or if he is going to be a trade ship to get a big-time pitcher. And he waves at that 97-mile-per-hour fastball for the first out of the ball game.
Watch Yordano Ventura here elevate at 97 and putting this ball away. Salvador Perez wanted it down, but instead it ends up being up and away, and probably never a strike out of Ventura's hands. When you have 2 strikes for Jurickson Profar, you see that swing almost like he's trying to either foul that ball off or hit it down the line the other way, but 97 too much for him.
Nomar Mazara, the rookie, batting .281, 11 home runs, 37 RBIs, steps in. And he takes the first pitch fastball high and away for ball 1. The rookie with big time power. Outside with a changeup, 2 balls and no strikes. And we see Mazara, we see Profar, Rougned Odor in the lineup. Because of players like these names, it is allowed the Texas Rangers to go out and last year make a trade for their starter tonight in Cole Hamels. The depth of their minor league system to go out and potentially make a trade, a name that's being tossed around, Chris Sale. Another fastball at 96 in their first strike at 2-2.
Well, the Texas Rangers are well positioned to do what they did a year ago. You mentioned Cole Hamels. They also brought in Jake Diekman in that deal. Sam Dyson from the Marlins. These were guys that were important pieces for them down the stretch.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Ventura as he went to the breaking ball there. 2 away here in the first.
Well, we've seen it all so far from Ventura. The fastball, curveball combination, most of what you will see from him. He also has that changeup that he can use against those lefties. But I think what we're seeing too is a guy right now very relaxed and in control. And Ned Yost told us before the game that is extremely important for him to have success. Sometimes the emotion can get to him. He can overthrow a little bit. We have not seen that through 2 hitters so far.
And now Ian Desmond takes the first pitch curveball for a ball. And Desmond, he has put together one of the big surprise seasons of the year. 316, 18 home runs, 58 RBIs. He's also 16 of 19 in stolen bases, has 23 doubles, 2 triples. And oh, by the way, he's playing center field when he's been a shortstop his entire career. He was with the Washington Nationals, turned down a long-term contract extension by the Nationals a couple of years ago. Essentially gambled on himself. It didn't pan out. And then had to sign a 1-year deal with these Texas Rangers, had to change positions. And all he's done is become an all-star and now set himself up for a long-term deal this offseason.
Well, think about Ian Desmond and this past offseason. He wanted to play the outfield. It wasn't so much that a team or teams didn't believe that he could be an infielder or be a shortstop at the big league level. It's almost like he wanted a break. He got off to a really bad start defensively with the Washington Nationals, and the outfield has just been a place where he has been much more comfortable.
Watch out. That one shoots into the Royals dugout. And it stays 2 balls and 2 strikes.
See Jarrod Dyson right there. A little bit of a skip of the heartbeat, but one of the quickest guys in the game, and so if anybody's going to get out of the way of a line drive, it's going to be Jarrod Dyson.
You know what? If I'm going to stand here, I'm going to have my glove on from now on. He's getting the night off tonight, being a lefty against a lefty Cole Hamels. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Desmond. Ventura trying to strike out the side, and Desmond just stays alive. Ian Desmond, I mean, as far as a hitter is concerned, a 3-time Silver Slugger at the shortstop position while with the Nationals. So he's always had that ability at the plate. But he has put up big numbers through the first half of the season and plus a few more games here post All-Star break.
Well, I think what he's done defensively really speaks to the athleticism. First, he starts out in left field. They decide to give him an opportunity in center field, and he has been great out there, much to the surprise, I think, of everybody around baseball.
Yordano Ventura off to a good start here in this first inning. Strikes out the side. Strikes him all out swinging. We're for a half inning, no score, and the Royals coming up. First pitch from Cole Hamels to Alcides Escobar, and Escobar chased a fastball high and outside for strike one. Alcides Escobar 260, a home run, and 23 RBIs against Cole Hamels, 10-2 with 3.00 ERA. Down low, and Hamels, Chirinos kind of walked out in front of home plate. Looks like Hamels didn't like his landing spot.
A little scary. That's not what Texas Rangers fans want to see right now with all the issues that they're having in their starting rotation. You see Cole Hamels react after throwing that pitch. Your first thought was there an injury? Did he do something? But apparently it was just a mound.
Missing low and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
How about Cole Hamels' last start? The first 6 hitters that he faced, he struck out.
Yordano Ventura trying to match that. He struck out the first 3 so far. In the air, foul ball, right field seats. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Alcides Escobar. In that start, you see the numbers for Escobar: 260, home run, 23 RBIs, the on-base percentage of just 286. But as Ned Yost has said, he's not your prototypical leadoff hitter, but when he's leading off, they just seem to win. Up and in, 3-2. But Cole Hamels in that start against the Cubs won 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 unearned run, no walks, and 7 strikeouts. And now the 3-2 to Escobar. Well, he starts him off by striking him out. The rest of the lineup that Hamels will face: Cheslor Cuthbert will bat second and play third base. Eric Hosmer in the 3-hole playing first. Kendrys Morales will DH and back cleanup. Salvador Perez will bat 5th. Alex Gordon 6th. The bottom 3rd, Paulo Orlando. Brett Eibner gets a start in right, and Christian Colon at second. One away for Cuthbert, and he takes the first pitch breaking ball high and outside for ball 1. Cheslor Cuthbert has done a fantastic job filling in for Mike Moustakas, who's gone for the season with a torn ACL.
Well, the story with third base and Cuthbert, a lot of people wondering, once Moustakas went down, would the Royals need to go out and get a third baseman? But they give Cuthbert the opportunity, and a lot of people around the Royals organization and around baseball believe that he could handle the position defensively. They didn't think it would be that much of a difference, and Mike Moustakas is a great third baseman. That's how people feel about Cuthbert. But then offensively, he has done a lot better, I think, than people expected, and so they really have not missed a beat. And here's the injury, as we see Alex Gordon and Mike Moustakas colliding. There wasn't a lot of contact, but just enough, unfortunately, for Moustakas to tear that ACL. And because of that, he's missing the rest of the 2016 season.
It was a costly collision. It knocked Moustakas out for the year, and it knocked Gordon out. As now Cuthbert goes the other way, hits it down the right field line, and Cheslor Cuthbert, it gets by Mazara in the corner, and Cuthbert now heading for third, and he will be held up there. Nomar Mazara had trouble in the corner, and let's see what this will be ruled. You know it's going to be a double. Is it a double plus an error or a triple for Cuthbert?
Well, this is just the second game for Nomar Mazara here in Kansas City, and that wall down the line, both sides here. This is one of the more symmetrical ballparks in all of baseball, as we see Cuthbert hit this ball down the right field line. But we've seen this happen to inexperienced outfielders. He actually had that ball in his glove. He just missed it. It wasn't even a bounce off the wall, so I can't even give him that excuse. He just flat out missed that, so that's going to be an error, double to go with the error to put Cuthbert at third here in the first inning.
And now Eric Hosmer hits with a runner at third and 1 out.
And you see the way that the ball kicked. That's the other thing about right down the line here. The wall starts to bow out right away, and so if you do miss a ball, or if a ball gets hit down the line, it takes kind of an awkward hop and will sometimes sit along that wall, and that's what we saw there.
Ground ball to short. That will score the run, and Hosmer has his 53rd RBI of the year. So the Royals take advantage of the error by Mazara, and they get on the board here first, scoring a run in the first inning.
A lot of times we talk about batting average with runners in scoring position, but it's not always about getting hits. It's about having productive at-bats, and that is exactly what Eric Hosmer did right there. That's an 0 for 1 with the runner in scoring position, but he gets the run in. The infield's back. He puts the ball on the ground up the middle to make sure they get that first run across the board.
First pitch swinging is Kendrys Morales, who fouls it back. No balls and 1 strike.
Now watch this ball, as I mentioned earlier on Misawa, that ultimately ended up costing them a run. But you see how it kicks and stays along the outfield wall. You just don't see that too often. And that, again, that's because right in the corners there, the ball just kind of kicks out in a weird way.
1 ball, 1 strike to Morales, batting .250 with 15 home runs and 47 RBIs. One nothing. Royals on top. Bottom half of the first. 2 outs. And it's outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Morales in the air, right field. Mazara going back on the ball. This one's carrying in the warning track, and Mazara makes the catch to end the inning. But the Royals do get an unearned run in the inning. We're through 1, and the Royals lead the Rangers 1-0. The Rangers in time now for the Ford keys to the game.
Well, one of those has already been answered, but let's start with the Texas Rangers starting a new trend. Starting pitching has been a big issue here for the Texas Rangers. They have not had back-to-back quality starts since June 16th and 17th. They'll have an opportunity to get that tonight. And first is worst, and Yordano Ventura did an excellent job, like I said, of answering that question. The Royals have the highest ERA in Major League Baseball in the first inning, and so Ventura comes out and obviously shuts down the Texas Rangers with those 3 strikeouts. So at least one of those keys has been tackled already.
Quickly ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes to Adrian Beltre, who's hitting .270 with 13 home runs and 57 RBIs. It's like the ageless third baseman for these Texas Rangers. The 0-2. Breaking ball is outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
37 years old for Adrian Beltre, but you don't see a lot of decline at all. So much so that the Texas Rangers extend him by 2 more years. And this is a guy that will eventually finish in the Hall of Fame.
A ground ball to short. Easy play for Escobar. 1 away here in the second. Well, the defense behind Ventura, that's the first time we've actually gotten to see a ball put in play to the first 4 hitters. So here it is. Alex Gordon in left field. Paulo Orlando gets a start in center. Brett Eibner in right. Around the horn in the infield. Eric Hosmer at first. Christian Colon at second. Escobar at short. Cuthbert at third. And behind the plate is the Rock, Salvador Perez. 1 out now for Rougned Odor, who hit a home run in last night's game. He's got 18 on the season, hitting .272 and 49 RBIs. And a big swing and a miss. Not a little guy, but packs a big punch. No pun intended.
Maybe there was a slight pun intended there by you, Justin Kutcher. But Rougned Odor has been really good for this team. You see the 18 home runs. The on-base percentage a little bit low, and so because of that, he hits a little bit lower in the order. He gets that on-base percentage up a little bit to go with that power. Now he becomes a real complete hitter, and the Texas Rangers can afford to have him bat a little bit higher in the lineup, which you would like to be able to do. But because of that lower on-base percentage, it's smart that they keep him down right now in the 5th or 6th hole.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Strikeout number 4 for Ventura through 5 hitters.
And this is 2016 baseball at its finest. The count here is 0-2. Look at the size of the swing on an 0-2 count. Sometimes we talk about guys trying to shorten up a little bit. And yes, the upside there is why Rougned Odor has all the home runs. But the downside is, again, when you're taking that big of a swing with 2 strikes, your on-base percentage is going to struggle.
2 outs now for Elvis Andrus. Base is empty here, top of the 2nd. And Andrus takes the fastball at 97 for a strike. Elvis Andrus hitting .290 with 4 home runs and 45 RBIs. And you said just before, you know, this is baseball in 2016. In the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. And I hear so often in today's day and age, you can't do this, or this is what it is. I don't know if in today's day and age, if this is a good thing with 2 strikes taking that type of a swing. I don't think that is evolved baseball in a positive direction.
It hasn't all been positive. There's obviously some negatives there because we're seeing strikeouts go up, and we've seen them go up every year over the past decade plus. The upside is you are going to see some more home runs, and we've seen a lot more home runs this year as well. And so the quality of the baseball for some people may have gone down because we don't see the shorter swings. We don't see nearly as many line drive hitters, but there are certainly some pluses and minuses that you could argue on both sides of that. At the end of the day, here's what hitters know. They're going to get paid if they hit home runs, and organizations seem to be behind that. And I talk to guys that I've played with, guys from my era that are now coaching, and they say that it doesn't matter. Guys don't care. The guys that are going to swing the same 0-0 as they are going to swing 0-2, and the organization does not try to dissuade guys from doing that.
2-2 popped up. Foul territory. Hosmer calling for it, and he makes the catch, and it's a 1-2 inning for Ventura again. We're through an inning and a half here in Kansas City, and it's 1-0 Royals. With the Rangers and see Mike Piazza and Ken Griffey Jr. take their place in Cooperstown tomorrow. The Hall of Fame induction ceremony live on MLB Network. Ken Griffey Jr. I don't know about you, CJ. You played against these guys, but he was one of my 3 all-time favorite players.
Ken Griffey Jr. was great. I played with Mike Piazza with the Mets for a little while. Griffey I got to face about 10 times over the course of my career. The one thing that sticks out about him, I think that we're lacking in baseball, which I think the commissioner really knows that we're trying to find and figure out why we don't have this kind of player. But he was really one of the first national marketable stars in Major League Baseball, and he was doing it from Seattle, which made it so interesting. So I don't even think it's necessarily about what city you play in, but it's about the personality and the talent. And anytime you wear your hat backwards, pretty much starting about 5 years into Ken Griffey Jr.'s career, people were asking you, who do you think you are? Ken Griffey Jr.? He was the guy that put that on the map and had a tremendous career. I'd say the only thing, just wonder without the injuries, could he have been the all-time home run king?
1 ball, 2 strikes here to Salvador Perez. Griffey Jr., the first #1 overall pick in the Major League Baseball draft to be inducted. Also the first player to wear a Mariners cap. And it's funny, it's the exact opposite. Mike Piazza, the lowest round pick, 62nd to be inducted. 1-2 to Perez, popped up, foul, headed towards the seats, and that will reach the seats. So we'll do 1 ball and 2 strikes again to Salvador Perez.
What a contrast when you think about those two guys, and Mike Piazza getting drafted in the 62nd round, a round that does not exist in Major League Baseball anymore. It used to be unlimited. You could pick as many times and as many players as you wanted. Then Major League Baseball trimmed it down to 50, and now they've trimmed it down to 40. There are only 40 rounds. There's a lot of guys that have been picked after the 40th round in their career went on to have good careers.
Perez strikes out on the breaking ball, and that's strikeout number 2 for Hamels. 1 away here in the second. The defense behind Cole Hamels in the outfield from left to right. Delino DeShields, Ian Desmond, Nomar Mazara around the horn in the infield. Mitch Moreland at first, Ruben Odor at second, Elvis Andrus at short, Adrian Beltre at third, and Robinson Chirinos behind the plate. 1 away here now for Alex Gordon, who had a triple in last night's ball game. Hamels, little smile. Alex Gordon, 205, 7 home runs, 16 RBIs.
This is not really a good matchup here for Alex Gordon. Already having a rough year, hitting just 185 against lefties. Cole Hamels has been exceptional against lefties, a 188 batting average against. And what he does so well, he's got the good fastball. It's also that breaking ball, one of his better pitches, using that against lefties, and it's got some good velocity to it as well. It's also got that cutter that he'll throw to lefties. So difficult at bat here for Alex Gordon.
And quickly, Hamels ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. What's been impressive about Cole Hamels over the course of his career is how consistent he's been able to stay. That fastball still 93, 94 miles per hour. That devastating changeup. And there's the breaking ball, check swing, appeal to third base. Adrian Johnson says he did not go. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2. Straight away center. Ian Desmond barely has to move. 2 away here in the second.
You talk about that longevity for Cole Hamels, and I think it sticks out even more so because of everything we see in Major League Baseball nowadays. We got all these hard throwers, and it's exciting to watch Steven Strasburg and Matt Harvey and Noah Syndergaard, but we also see these guys getting hurt. And it's because they get started so much earlier in their careers, in their amateur careers, and the training that they're doing and everything else that goes along with the velocity. And here's Cole Hamels being consistent, being steady, and still throwing with good velocity at 32 years old and not looking like he's missed a beat.
First pitch to Orlando, and he fouls it back. No balls and 1 strike. Paulo Orlando, 316, doesn't have a lot of power, just 1 home run and 20 RBIs. But a good swing keeps that bat through the zone. Playing center field, Lorenzo Cain still on the DL, but Ned Yost says he's getting closer. And back up the middle, caught at second by Odor, and that'll do it for this second inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Cole Hamels, getting some defensive help by Odor. We're through 2. It's 1-0 Royals. Royals lead the Rangers, and tomorrow MLS Soccer Sunday, sponsored by Audi, returns with a red-hot rivalry. Don't miss when David Villa and New York City FC battle their crosstown rivals, the New York Red Bulls, at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Top of the third, bottom third of the order, Mitch Moreland, Robinson Chirinos, and Delano DeShields against Yordano Ventura. And the first pitch fastball in there at 92 from Ventura for a strike. Moreland, 234, 13 home runs, 36 RBIs. Ned Yost told us before the game that a key for Ventura was for him to stay within himself. Breaking ball, pulled foul, 0-2. And he said it's very easy to figure out when he is not staying within himself. His motion gets all out of whack. You could see him trying too hard. Well, so far, through the first 6 batters, he has stayed within himself.
I think for him, being a young starter and a guy that throws so hard, you kind of get why sometimes he gets out of his rhythm and wants to do too much and doesn't stay within himself. Go back to 2014. He had the hardest fastball amongst all qualified starters in all of baseball. Now, 2016, he's still there. He's top 4. He's not number 1. But there's value in actually him dialing it back a little bit. His velocity is down from 2 years ago. Not significant, not anything that necessarily makes you nervous, and it's not even necessarily a bad thing. He said at 90%, he's better than he is at 100 or 110%.
Rolling over one to second, Christian Colon. One away here in the third.
One of the things you realize as a pitcher, and sometimes you're shocked by this, sometimes you think, I want to take a little bit off this fastball, deep breath here, relax a little bit, and the velocity actually ends up being the same or close to it. It's just a matter of that you're much more smoother, the delivery is better, your consistency within the zone is much better. And I think that's what Ned Yost and the Kansas City Royals want to see more of from Yordano Ventura. Watch him so far. He has been really smooth, not trying to overthrow, not trying to do too much. He's got to figure out a way to be able to do that.
Now, of course,
6, 7, 8 innings.
In this inning, when we praised him for not trying to overthrow, he has bounced 2 balls.
Those are breaking balls, so I'll give him that. When they're that short, I hope that wasn't a fastball that was in the grass, but I'll give him a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a break on those.
In the air, right field, carrying. Eibner going back on the track in front of the wall, makes the catch, and there are 2 away here in the top of the third. And what's also nice for Ventura, he's already got 4 strikeouts. You get a couple of quick outs here in the third. You keep that pitch count down. And what's also pretty staggering, the numbers against Ventura. Delano DeShields this year, the numbers for him, 218, a couple home runs, 8 RBIs. But first time through the order, Ventura has struggled. First pitch fastball, 98 in there for a strike. Opponents batting .315 against him the first time through the order. Look at second time and then third time.
Well, he has the kind of stuff where he can pitch through the order multiple times.
DeShields kind of surprised. That first base umpire Eric Cooper said he went around. So now it's no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2. Breaking ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The umpires behind home plate, Chad Fairchild at first base as the crew chief Eric Cooper, Jim Wolf at second, and Adrian Johnson at third. Ventura looking for his 5th strikeout through the first 3 innings. And he just misses with a breaking ball on the inside corner.
And to finish that point about the stuff and why can he go through the order multiple times, maybe compared to other starters. Just we saw the breaking ball. For me, it's his best pitch. Just a 159 batting average against. He's got a good changeup when he's on. If he's running into any trouble, it's when he's throwing actually too many fastballs.
Back up the middle. Colon was a shortstop in college, has a good arm, makes the play to get to Shields. 9 up and 9 down for Yordano Ventura through the first 3 innings. We head to the bottom half of the third, 1-0 Kansas City. The fans trying to stay cool here in Kansas City. 1-0, bottom 3 in the first pitch from Hamels to Brett Eibner is taken for a strike at the knees. 0-1. Eibner, the rookie right fielder, hitting .266, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. Fouls it straight back, no balls and 2 strikes. Eibner in college was both the center fielder for the University of Arkansas and the closer. Can bring it 97 out of the bullpen.
Well, I got to believe if that situation comes up where the Royals need a position player to pitch, Brett Eibner's got to be the first one we're going to see.
Ooh.
Which, of course, they would prefer not to be in that position anytime soon, but we've seen it a bunch. Up over 20 times this year, position players have pitched in games. Christian Bethancourt, to watch this breaking ball right here.
Looks like it caught the shoulder. Yep, the arm of Chad Fairchild. The bicep. That might leave a mark tomorrow.
How about Christian Bethancourt this year? It was 94, 95 miles an hour for the San Diego Padres. Then you get some position players that will come in there, try to throw a knuckleball, flip it up at 75. There are a couple of these guys that could probably pitch in the big leagues right now.
The 0-2 from Hamels. Misses high and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Eibner, great success against the lefties, not so much against the righties. In there tonight because the lefty. 1-2 is pulled foul.
Cole Hamels does a nice job of getting Brett Eibner way out in front of that changeup in the 1-2 count. Now we talk about throwing a pitch like that speeds up a bat, so he's got lots of options here. He can try to throw that fastball in off the plate or maybe even cut him in. He goes changeup again. He'd want that to be below the zone.
High and outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. As a team, the Royals do very well against left-handed pitchers. Trail only the Red Sox in team batting average. Eibner doing a good job staying alive. 2-2 against Hamels.
Well, he has seen everything now that Cole Hamels has here in his first at bat of the game. He's seen the fastball, the changeup, the breaking ball. That last one, not the best breaking ball that we see Cole Hamels throw, and so he does have the option of going back to that breaking ball again. Looks like maybe fastball down and away.
Ground ball, shortstop Andrus with the backhand, high throw, and Moreland can't come down with it. Second error of the game for the Rangers, and it's the first against Elvis Andrus. The last error came around to score. It was an error against Nomar Mazara.
And the 8th for Elvis Andrus on the year, and he had plenty of time to make this throw. He just launched it, rushed it a little bit. Mitch Moreland thought he had it, didn't realize it popped out of the glove at first. But nothing here but just a high throw and a missed spot here by Elvis Andrus.
And now we'll see if the Royals can take advantage once again. The 9-hole hitter Christian Colon at the plate. Fastball is outside for ball 1. Colon, 253, no home runs and 9 RBIs on the season. A throw over to first base. Eibner has not attempted a stolen base yet this season.
There's only 4 total stolen bases in this Kansas City Royals starting lineup today, and so running at least for the stolen base probably not in the cards, but a hit and run with the right side of the infield open or just getting a runner in motion to try to stay out of the double play could be on the table.
The Royals had 3 stolen bases last night. On the outside corner with a fastball, 2-1 to Colon. Eibner does run pretty well for a big guy.
and those stolen bases that I mentioned against left-handed pitching on the year. And of course, obviously lefties so good at holding runners, at least most. We know John Lester's had his issues with the Chicago Cubs this year. Cole Hamels hasn't done that great. 14 stolen bases allowed against him in 16 attempts.
Three-one ground ball. Andrus, he will take it to the bag himself, throw to first, and he erases that error. A 6-3 double play, 2 away here in the third.
The Royals elect not to put a runner in motion, and this is the reason why you would like to do it, although this is a double play that still probably could get turned. Fastball away, get the ground ball exactly what you want from the right-handed hitter. Cole Hamels 49% ground ball rate, pretty good for a lefty. You knew there was a chance that double play could happen.
First pitch to Escobar. Swings and misses at that breaking ball. 0-1. Escobar struck out to open up the ball game for the Royals. One of 2 strikeouts so far for Hamels. Ground ball, third base. Beltre. Sidearm throw, and that's error number 3 against the Rangers. And Escobar heads to second on the throw. A very lackadaisical throw there by Adrian Beltre. And the second error of the inning by these Rangers. And we told you how they've lost 4 in a row. They've lost 15 of their last 19. And the errors are piling up. And when the pitching has been as poor as it has been, you got to help out.
Well, it's not an ideal combination. You see Adrian Beltre here. He always usually throws from that angle, but he just pulls this ball. And unfortunately, Mitch Moreland doesn't have much of a chance at all to try to pick this thing, but you see him just yank it across. It's a pretty tough pick for Moreland to still try to hold the bag. And you mentioned it, getting sloppy during a time when your team is not winning, it always is magnified and looks worse. And so far here for the Texas Rangers, it has not been pretty through 3 innings.
2 outs now for Cuthbert, who fouls the first pitch back. 0-1. If I'm not mistaken, there was a ball last night that Beltre picked up, and it could have rolled foul. It looked like that one had the spin where it may have rolled foul as well. Instead, now he picks that up, and it's a 2-base error. Breaking ball, no balls and 2 strikes to Cuthbert, who doubled down the right field line his first time up. Took third on the error by Mazara in right field and came around to score on the ground out by Hosmer. Now he's got a man in scoring position, and Escobar off the 2-base error by Beltre. The 0-2 from Hamels in the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Cole Hamels did an excellent job of picking up Elvis Andrus up after that error, inducing a double play. And now Adrian Beltre is hoping that he can do the same for him. It's one thing, even if you do pitch around the errors and you're able to get out of it, the other thing you always have to consider is the extra pitches.
Right.
And the more time now that Cole Hamels is spending out on the mound, if he can get through this hitter, it's maybe not as big of a deal where he maybe throws 4 or 5 pitches and it's an extra couple of minutes. But if it gets much longer, those are the kind of things that can catch up with you over the course of a game.
Hamels thought he just had strike 3. You could see the frustration there.
And this heat will do that to you as well. He's already gotten 3 batters out this inning, but he likes the execution of this pitch and he wants that call. And part of that is hitting Robinson Chirinos' glove. They wanted the high strike. He hit the glove, but it's probably just above the zone.
And now he goes full to Cuthbert. With 2 outs here in the third, already down 1-0. And Eric Hosmer on deck. The Royals won last night's game 3-1. (3-2) foul tipped, and just staying alive is Cuthbert.
Think about Cole Hamels and the veteran that he is. You got a 3-2 count. Not the greatest inning for this team, and it's a backdoor breaking ball. Look at the execution. That ball is right on the corner. Obviously, you do not want to throw a ball in that situation. A lot of times you're thinking about trying to split the plate, but Cole Hamels putting that backdoor breaking ball right on the corner against a right-handed hitter.
Another 3-2. Another breaking ball misses up high, ball 4. The first walk issued by Hamels tonight. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to AppBat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. I believe they're watching the Yankees and Giants game on their phone right now using MLB.TV Premium and finding out when this game will come on FS1. Hosmer takes the first pitch fastball up high for ball 1. So you mentioned those added pitches because of the errors. Well, now those pitches are adding up as Hamels is at 50 for the game here in the 3rd inning.
And also the stress level, which we saw him show after that pitch that he thought was a strike, was called the ball.
Hosmer in the air, left center, long run for Desmond, still on the run, makes the catch to end the inning. So Ian Desmond, who has acclimated himself very nicely to the outfield, makes a nice catch to save a couple of runs. It's 1-0 Royals. We go to the 4th here in Kansas City, top of the order for the Rangers. Profar, Mazara, and Desmond to face Ventura, who has faced the minimum through 3. Profar struck out to open up the ball game. And he looks at a first pitch breaking ball for ball 1. Now at 296 on the season. Fastball is outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Three balls and no strikes from Ventura, who has looked so good in the first 3 innings. Taking all the way, and it's a 4-pitch walk, the first base runner of the game for Texas. And Dave Eiland just looking on right now.
Well, the walks are so key for Yordano Ventura, which can be an issue for him. 8 times this year he has walked 3 or more in a game. In those games his ERA is up over 6, 6.10, and That's kind of pitching 101. Obviously, if you're going to walk guys, you're going to run into trouble. But I think here for Ventura becomes particularly important because you start to walk guys, and then the motion that we were talking about earlier starts to come into play. He starts overthrowing the ball, and then he starts leaving fastballs up, and then that's when he gets in trouble and guys start squaring him up.
Mazara struck out. Part of that trio that struck out the side in that first.
Oh my.
Well hit to center field, chasing Orlando back at the wall. Orlando leaps up and it's gone. 2-run home run for Nomar Mazara.
Nomar Mazara is big. He is strong. He's got a lot of thump in his bat. We've seen some tape measure home runs from him this year. And my reaction was on the sound because that one sounded loud. Yeah, it just barely got out, but it's 410 out there, center field, Kauffman Stadium. He squared that one up really good. And there is Yordano Ventura getting himself in trouble. A 4-pitch walk. The leadoff hitter Profar, then making a mistake. And Nomar Mazara absolutely crushing it to dead center field.
And just like that, you think about that play that Desmond made to end the inning.
And you can do this every single time. Look at Salvador Perez's glove. Just wants that ball down and away. Sits back over the plate right in the hitting zone.
Ground ball to short. Escobar behind the bag makes the play nicely to retire Desmond for the first out here in the fourth. That home run was the first hit of the game for the Rangers.
We'll see it here again. It's a changeup just sitting right in the middle of the plate. I mentioned that he's got a good one, and that's one way that he can neutralize left-handed hitters.
Look at Mazara's face.
He knows, because he knew it was going to be close. He knew he hit it hard, but he knew it was going to be borderline. When you hit those, you try to will them out just a little bit more, but he didn't have to. That one took care of business by itself.
All right, timeout. What do you know about willing those out as a hitter?
Seen it. Listen, I'm a fan. I've seen Carlton Fisk. Let me tell you about softball last week.
Beltre takes the pitch low and outside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Orlando made a great effort. Oh.
There's probably a Royal fan or two thinking Lorenzo Cain catches that ball. He doesn't, but they think that he probably could have.
This one's hit well to left. Gordon, he looks up. It's off the wall. Too much topspin. Beltre going for 2. The throw comes in, and Beltre will step on second with a 1-out double. 17th double of the year for Adrian Beltre.
Well, 2 balls now squared up in this inning against Ventura after he was so masterful one time through the order. All of a sudden, the second time through has been a little bit of an issue. And another ball that comes back out over the plate. Another changeup. Look at the rotation, trying to throw the ball down and away and sitting in the middle of the plate. Again, just becomes so hittable, especially when it's not that 97 or 98 mile an hour fastball.
Runner in scoring position. Now for Rougned Odor. Odor struck out his first time up. And the fastball at 97 at the knees for strike 1. The Royals had the opportunity in the bottom half of the third. First and second, 2 outs thanks to the error by Beltre. And Hosmer flew out to deep left center field, a running catch by Desmond. And the Rangers have responded. A leadoff walk to Profar, a 2-run shot by Mazara, and now a 1-out double by Beltre. And Odor enjoys hitting on the road. Good breaking ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
The road stats surprise you a little bit when you think about the ballpark down in Texas. A good spot for left-handed hitters. Right field, you get the ball up in the air, it's going to carry, but for whatever reason, it's worked out a little bit better for Odor this year when he's on the road.
As a team, the Rangers now have 76 home runs on the road.
Oh my.
That's a strikeout wild pitch going down to third base. The throw down to first. Odor is retired. Beltre takes third on the wild pitch.
And what happened there for Rougned Odor is he's trying to claim that he fouled that ball off, and that's why he did not immediately run to first base. He believed that he got a piece of that ball. Didn't know where the ball was, obviously, but even once he realized that it was behind Salvador Perez, he believed that he fouled it off. He was not anywhere near that baseball. So I'm not exactly sure why he continued to stand there. Maybe he didn't know where the baseball was. We can see him looking at it right there, but I'm guessing he was trying to sell somebody on a foul tip, and that would be a pretty difficult sell.
So 2 outs now. Runner at third is Beltre, and Elvis Andrus at the plate. Fouled out to first his first time up. And the fastball is pulled wide. 1 ball and no strikes. Down low with a fastball, 2-0 to Andrus. The Rangers trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. It hasn't been pretty for them. They've lost 4 in a row, 8 of 9, 15 of 19. They've lost 7.5 games in the standings in the last 24 days. Inside, 3-0. They now lead the Houston Astros by 2.5 in the AL West.
See the reaction there from Ventura, and this is an important part of the game. He falls behind 3-0. He's showing some outward frustration, and this is where things can get away from him. It's important. He gets locked back in. See the 4-pitch walk now, and if I'm the Kansas City Royals and Dave Eiland, or at least Salvador Perez, I'm going to go give him a breather right here. I want to talk to him. I want to calm him back down and make sure that he gets through Mitch Moreland and does not let this inning go any further.
That's a second 4-pitch walk of the inning. Second walk of the game. The first 4-pitch walk was to Profar leading off, and that came around to score on the 2-run shot by Mazara. Moreland grounded out to second his first time up. 2 outs, runners on the corners, top of the 4th. 2-1 Rangers lead the Royals now. No balls and 1 strike to Moreland. For the Rangers, injuries have taken their toll. The pitching staff, everyday players, Prince Fielder, Shin-Soo Choo. Fouled back again, no balls and 2 strikes.
That ball ricocheted off the facade and ended up in the first row behind home plate. You think you're sitting in the first row, you're probably never getting a foul ball, especially when you're sitting behind that net. But there is a fan who ended up with a souvenir in a spot that he never would have expected.
The 0-2 from Ventura. Missing up and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 22 pitches this inning for Yordano Ventura, who cruised through the first 3 innings. 9 up, 9 down in the first 3 for Ventura. This is the 7th batter he's facing this inning. The 1-2. Pop foul again. We'll do it again at 1-2. Cole Hamels worked around a couple of errors in the bottom half of the 3rd. Did not surrender a run. And that hard work by Hamels has been rewarded by his offense here in this 4th inning. Another 1-2. Outside at 97, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
When you see that kind of movement on the fastball, a lot of times we talk about it and look at it as a good thing, but in the case of Ventura, that means he's pulling off of that ball a little bit, not staying through it. Yes, the velocity is still good, but when you see it rising or going up and away from a left-handed hitter, you know it's because of a lack of a follow-through on that pitch. If he wants to get this ball down in the zone, his fastball down in the zone, he needs a little bit better follow-through and staying on his catcher a little bit longer.
Moreland again fouls one back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ventura really having to work in this inning. Robinson Chirinos on deck. 2 runs already in. A 4-pitch walk, a 2-run home run. A ground out, a double, a strikeout, a walk. And now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Hosmer can now back up and play behind the runner at first, Andrews, to give himself some more range if he so chooses.
It looks like Hosmer's going to stay there, and I think it's part of making sure there's not too much of a jump. In the case of Elvis Andrus, could you hit a ball in the gap or even a ball down the line, he could easily score. Yes, he's going to be moving, but if he gets a monster jump, it's going to be a lot easier for him to score. So the Royals elect to hold him here in that situation, but it could go either way, especially when you have a left-handed hitter and trying to make that decision. Would you rather have more range, or would you rather prevent the runner from getting the bigger jump? And right now the Royals are deciding that they'd rather prevent that jump.
3-2, another foul ball.
But it's interesting. For me, it's interesting that you bring it up, because also watching Moreland's at bat, I think that also goes into the equation. And so far, he's fouled everything off to the left side.
Yep.
And so that's what they're believing. And now, if Ventura makes a mistake over the middle of the plate, Mitch Moreland is absolutely capable of pulling that ball, and the Royals could get burnt making this decision. But ultimately, you bet on your pitcher executing his pitch, and if he does, Mitch Moreland should not be able to pull this ball.
And it's ball 4. A 10-pitch at-bat won by Mitch Moreland. Dave Eiland moving around in the dugout. He's going to come out and speak to Ventura with the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the 4th. What an at-bat right there by Mitch Moreland.
Well, it was, and you think about the great stuff that Ventura has. He left a couple of pitches up. I mentioned the fastball was tailing away that he could not locate down in a way. Breaking balls that hung, but he fouled them all off. It's not an easy thing to do when you're facing a guy with the kind of stuff that Yordano Ventura has. And this is interesting to me too, because Dave Eiland comes out as the pitching coach. We see Salvador Perez also taking over a little bit in this meeting, one of the more respected catchers in the game, and he knows what Yordano Ventura needs to hear and making sure that that message is getting across. I mentioned it before the Moreland at bat. That was a pivotal at bat. This one obviously becomes even more important. One big mistake and all of a sudden this game could be out of hand.
Chirinos flew out to right field his first time up. Comes up with the bases loaded here in the 4th, with his team leading 2-1. And the first pitch breaking ball is inside for ball 1. It's so weird. You get ready for a game, you look at all these numbers, and you're looking at Ventura and how he has struggled the first time through the order. We showed you those numbers. And then he comes out and retires the first 9 men in a row. And you could see the frustration just mounting here, snapping at that ball, getting it back from Perez behind the count 2-0. And now second time through the order. 3 walks, a home run, a double. And there's a strike, and he'll get a ovation from these fans.
Well, how about Robinson Chirinos, though, looking back? You're not going to get that call a lot of times. You've walked a couple of guys in a row. This ball's right on the corner, but it is borderline for me. That pitch is probably a ball. It's a nasty pitch, but a generous call by home plate umpire Chad Fairchild.
Ground ball, shortstop. Escobar goes to second for the out, and that will do it. The Rangers do leave the bases loaded, but Nomar Mazara gets Texas on the board, gives them a lead. A 2-run shot to straightaway center. It's 2-1 Rangers on top of the Royals. We go to the bottom half of the 4th. A 2-run shot by Nomar Mazara has given the Rangers a 2-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th. And Cole Hamels will face Kendrys Morales, Salvador Perez, Alex Gordon. 4, 5, 6 in the order for Kansas City. And the first pitch fastball tails outside for ball 1. Morales flew out to right field his first time up. Now batting .249 with 15 home runs and 47 RBIs. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 1.
See if Cole Hamels can keep those emotions in check after getting those 2 runs. He was a little bit upset. We saw it from him. We saw it from Ventura. In days like this as well, you're going to be a little bit more cranky, right? When you're out there, you're battling, it's hot, the air is thick, you're not getting the calls that you think you should be getting. Sometimes that lends itself to a little bit more crankiness from pitchers.
Down the right field line, Mazara in the corner at the wall, and he makes the catch. 1 away here in the 4th.
This is not an automatic here from Nomar Mazara, who does a really nice job, gets to the warning track, feeling for the wall. That's the one thing about this ballpark as well, because of that turned in, like I talked about earlier, down the line. There's some fly balls that look like they may be routine that can kind of sneak out of this ballpark if you're able to get it right at that foul pole. But good job by Mazara recognizing where the wall was and pulling that ball in.
1 away for Salvador Perez. First pitch swinging, fouls it away. Perez struck out his first time up. 2 strikeouts in the game for Cole Hamels. Perez and Escobar. The all-star catcher. Salvador Perez caught Cole Hamels in the All-Star game. Hamels pitched the 3rd inning for the American League. Cole Hamels from San Diego got to pitch at home in San Diego. Popped up in the infield. Moreland 2 away.
Here, Mitch Moreland, you see Mitch Moreland right there talking about communication with Odor, making sure that he heard him calling for that ball. Every ballpark has different acoustics. You want to make sure that your infielders, your outfielders, the communication is good, and he was just confirming there with Rougned Odor that he could hear him calling for that ball.
2 outs now for Alex Gordon. Last week we were at Comerica Park for the Tigers and the Royals. And we were talking about Old Tiger Stadium. As far as acoustics are concerned and all the ballparks that you played in, what was the best stadium for acoustics?
Well, the boos reigned pretty equally regardless of what stadium. They all kind of sounded the same to me. I've never had an issue with it. It becomes more important, I think, for the outfielders and especially the infielders. You're going toward balls toward the line, or you have the shortstop and the third baseman going for a ball. That's when it becomes most important. But as far as what I heard throughout the course of my career, it was pretty steady.
1 ball, 2 strikes here to Gordon. In the dirt, 2-2.
Gordon, you mentioned the high pitch count earlier for Cole Hamels. The 50 pitches through, or getting to the 50 pitch mark back in that 3rd inning. A 1-2-3 inning here would be huge for him, especially after his team scoring those 2 runs and trying to manage now his pitch count.
Just missing in off the plate. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes to Gordon with 2 outs here in the 4th. Orlando on deck. And the payoff pitch. Missing outside, ball 4. Second walk issued by Hamels. So that was the announcer jinx by C.J. Nitkowski.
I'm not going to take the blame for that one. I'll blame it on the Heat today, but it's an unfortunate walk. I mentioned it earlier. Lefty on lefty, Cole Hamels has great numbers. Alex Gordon does not, but he put a good swing on his fly out back in the second inning, and then the walk there with 2 outs. Cole Hamels obviously not the goal there at all, but not feeling good so far against Alex Gordon.
Strike one to Orlando, lined out to second his first time up. A nice catch by Rougned Odor going up the middle. Throw over to first base. Gordon is 5 for 5 on the season, stolen bases.
Check out this bottom of the order for the Kansas City Royals this year. Now, part of this is because Mike Moustakas has not been in that lineup for most of the year. They have not gotten a lot of production up top. You love getting production from the bottom, but you prefer to combine it with also the production that you would expect 1 through 5, and the Royals have not gotten as much offensive production as they would like from those first 5 hitters.
Orlando from Brazil. Of course, Rio going to be hosting the Olympics coming up. Lays off the pitch outside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Paulo Orlando, coming from that soccer crazed nation of Brazil to play baseball in the major leagues. Quite an accomplishment for him. Foul tip, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Not too many players have come from Brazil. Yan Gomes, of course, is another. And there was a pitcher, Andre Rienzo. Sounds more Italian, doesn't it? But just 3 major leaguers that were born in Brazil.
It's like Francisco Cervelli.
It's a good Italian name.
It's a great Italian name, but he's not Italian. Ground ball in the hole. Andrus knocks it down. Everybody's safe. That should be a base hit. It is a base hit for Orlando. First and second, 2 outs here in the 4th.
And this was going to be a tough play regardless. Even if Elvis Andrus was able to field this ball cleanly, chances are he is not throwing Orlando out. Did not have a play on Gordon either at second. A well-located pitch. Cole Hamels got exactly what he wanted, which was Orlando to hit the top half of the ball. But he just hit it in a really good spot. Not much that Elvis Andrus could do right there.
The Royals fans trying to make some noise here with 2 outs in the 4th, and Brett Eibner, who reached on the error by Andrus in the 3rd, trying to come through and tying this game up. Gordon at second, Orlando at first. Off-speed pitch is outside for ball 1. Hamels had a 1-2-3 second, got some help from Rougned Odor to take a base hit away from Orlando. But besides that, has not had an easy inning. A look back to second.
A couple of balk cries from Royals fans. That is not a balk. The inside move, once your foot comes off the pitching rubber, you do not have to throw that baseball.
Chasing that pitch low and outside was Eibner. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And you see the reaction from Brett Eibner there. There's 2 different schools of thought. You're ahead in the count 1-0, but you also have a runner in scoring position. And should you expand the zone a little bit to try to get that run in? Some hitters will do it, some will not. But in the case of Eibner there, realizing he chased a pitch that was much too far out of the zone.
Inside with that cutter, 2 balls and a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Eibner. So for the second straight inning, Cole Hamels trying to work out of a jam. Last inning was because of his defense. This inning it's because of him. The walk to Gordon with 2 outs. The infield single by Orlando. 75th pitch coming up. Bottom half of the 4th, 2-1. Rangers on top of the Royals. 2-2 is down low. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Cole Hamels is working hard here, and you see the long pauses in between pitches as he tries to gather himself, get that composure back, get that arm angle and release point where he wants it, so he can be a little bit more consistent in the zone.
Thank you, Kenny. The Giants defeat the Yankees. Justin Kutcher alongside C.J. Nitkowski here in Kansas City. It is bottom half of the 4th inning, and the Royals trying to get a 2-out rally here against Cole Hamels, as Brett Eibner just works a 2-out walk, and the bases are now loaded. A second walk and 3 batters for Cole Hamels, and that is going to bring out the pitching coach, Doug Brocail. The Royals struck first with a run in the first, an unearned run. An RBI ground out by Eric Hosmer. The Rangers got 2 in the 4th and a 2-run shot by Nomar Mazara. And now the Royals are trying to get even or retake the lead. And they've got their 9-hole hitter Christian Colon at the plate against Cole Hamels.
Those 2 quick outs, and then all of a sudden Cole Hamels had a hard time finding the zone. The 2 walks, falling behind in the count to Orlando Badlock on the ground ball that was in the hole that Elvis Andrus could not handle. All of a sudden he finds himself now in this jam.
First pitch changeup is taken for a strike to Colon. Alex Gordon worked the 2-out walk. He's at 3rd. Paulo Orlando, the infield single in the hole at short at 2nd. And Brett Eibner, who just walked, he is at 1st. On the outside corner, quickly 0-2 to Colon.
Colon must be a little bit surprised there after watching what Cole Hamels has done with the last 3 hitters, struggling to locate against Brett Eibner especially. And he comes firing out with a quick 2 strikes here against Christian Colon.
And Colon goes down swinging, leaves the bases loaded here in the 4th. Again, Hamels gets in trouble and out of trouble. We've played 4 in KC. It's 2-1 Texas. 2-1, top of the 5th here in Kansas City. This is how the scoring took place in the first. It was an RBI ground out by Eric Hosmer after an error in right field by Mazara. And then a 2-run shot by Mazara in the 4th inning. And that put the Rangers on top 2-1, and that's where we are right now. And here on the top of the 5th, the count is no balls and 1 strike to Delino DeShields, and he takes the pitch inside. And it's 1-1. DeShields grounded out to second base his first time up. 2 runs on 2 hits and 3 errors for the Rangers. 1 run on 2 hits and no errors for the Royals. And it's 2-1 to DeShields. And now 3 balls and 1 strike.
Not exactly what Ned Yost and Dave Eiland wanted to see here from Yordano Ventura. Starting off this 5th inning, control has been an issue. Suddenly it was great through the first 3. The 4th inning seemed to lose it a little bit, and they certainly would like to see him get it back.
And he leads off the inning walking Delino DeShields. It was a 4-pitch walk to Jurickson Profar leading off the 4th. The next batter hit a 2-run home run, and now it's Profar coming up. Follow live baseball with MLB.com at bat. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. A check on DeShields, who's 4 of 7 in stolen bases. Profar walked his last time up, came around to score on the home run, has also struck out. 4 walks so far for Yordano Ventura, who had struggled with walks early in his first 9 games, had 33 walks in his first 9 games. That led all of Major League Baseball. His last 9 games coming in, just 8 walks. He's got 4 in the first 4+ innings. And the fastball on the outside corner at the knees to Profar for a strike.
The Jurickson Profar story is so interesting. Right here was a guy who was a huge prospect prior to the 2013 season, a consensus #1 overall prospect by all the major publications. Struggled a little bit, dealt with injuries, was part of the problem. And he's in the minor leagues this year, and who knows, he may still be in the minor leagues had it not been for Rougned Odor in the fight that he got in with Jose Bautista. It was an 8-game suspension for Odor, got dropped to 7, but when he started serving his suspension, Jurickson Profar got an opportunity at the big leagues, and he capitalized on it, so much so that when Odor was finished with his suspension, the Rangers knew that Profar had to stay.
Pulls this one foul, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And now it's become about where can we put him. And he's become this super utility man like you talked about. He's played every position in the infield. He has worked out in the outfield. He's probably going to get an opportunity to play the outfield sometime next week. And it's an old adage of baseball. If you hit, they will find a place to put you in the field. And that's certainly the case right now for Jurickson Profar.
1-2 popped up in the infield. Christian Colon at second will make the catch. 1 away here in the 5th. Well, we talked about Profar, and we've also talked earlier about the trade deadline coming up August 1st. And there is news around baseball because before this game began, the Rangers have been rumored to be involved or trying in talks with the White Sox about Chris Sale, and Chris Sale was scratched from his start tonight. Was actually sent home by the White Sox, so everyone starts speculating, uh-oh, what's going on? Was he scratched because he's going to be traded? Well, CJ, how about the news that's breaking as this game is going on? The story is developing, and we're getting updates via Twitter, and Ken Rosenthal, John Morosi, Tom Verducci. I mean, all these guys giving updates. And the first pitch to Mazara is in there for a strike. Apparently, the reason why he was sent home was insubordination. He didn't want to wear the throwback uniforms, so he cut up all the uniforms in the clubhouse.
Well, it sounds like, not that it's pure speculation, you can count on some of these guys for some of their sources, but certainly not a story that reflects very well on Chris Sale right now. And if it's true, Does it affect at all what the Chicago White Sox would want to do? I don't think so. I don't think it matters very much at all. Chris Sale is a dominant pitcher. He's got a very team-friendly contract with a couple of option years still left on it. And any discussions that were happening regarding trades were more teams making offers, not necessarily the Chicago White Sox asking for them or throwing it out there. And if Chris Sale was going to get moved, it would take a king's ransom, as Ken Rosenthal put it earlier this week.
Mazara to the gap in right center field. DeShields, he's got wheels. He's being raved around third, and he's going to come in to score easily on the RBI double by Mazara. So Nomar Mazara has all 3 RBIs in the ball game for the Rangers as they now lead 3-1.
Well, the left-hander obviously comfortable against Yordano Ventura. Struck out in his first at-bat, but since then has squared a couple of balls up. And Yordano Ventura continues now all of a sudden to struggle after these great first 3 innings. Look at this pitch. It's supposed to be up and elevating, but when you go upstairs like that, you want that ball to stay straight. And that ball had too much run on it and came back over the middle of the plate.
Now Desmond in the air to right. Eibner circling around. Mazara tagging. And he will get to third easily. 2 outs here in the 5th.
And you see Mazara just squaring this ball up, driving it into the gap. And he had struggled a little bit in June. Started playing a swing in the bat a little bit better this month, and good signs too. And Jeff Bannister mentioned this to us earlier, hitting some line drives up the middle. The home run he hit was to dead center. That ball to right center, not trying to pull the ball. He thought that maybe he got a case of the pulls just a little bit because he was hitting some tape measure home runs early on, and everybody was making a big deal about it. Maybe the swing started to get a little big, and right now Nomar Mazara is back to where he was earlier this season, which is that shorter swing, barrel to the ball, and keeping it in the middle of the field.
Adrian Beltre takes the fastball outside again. 2 balls and no strikes. Beltre doubled his last time up. 1 for 2, also a ground out to short. Right back up the middle off of Ventura, still holding his stomach. And he makes the play, and Ventura is still down. Yordano Ventura got the out, but now he is down on the ground. The trainer is out right away.
And hopefully this was nothing too serious, and maybe for Ventura just got the wind knocked out of him. We will see as they give him a little bit of time. We'll take a look at this replay. Tried to get the glove to the ball, did not touch it. Looked like it caught him in his lower right side. So like I said, hopefully just knocked the wind out of him. We'll have to wait and see and kind of report we get. I got a feeling this is going to be the end of Yordano Ventura's night.
That does it for the inning. 1 run in, 3-1 Rangers. First pitch to Alcides Escobar is taken for a strike, leading off the bottom half of the 5th inning. 3-1 Rangers lead the Royals. That was the score of the ball game last night, but the Royals won 3-1. Handing the Rangers their 4th straight loss. 1 ball and 1 strike to Escobar. 0 for 2, did reach bases last time up on the error by Adrian Beltre. Fouled back, 1-2. Joakim Soria now warming up in the bullpen for the Royals.
Pretty safe to assume that he'll be coming in this game now in the next inning. We saw Ventura struggle a little bit his last couple, and then of course now leaving the game maybe with an apparent injury.
Escobar to left center, but there coming over is Delano DeShields for the first out here in the 5th. Let's check in with Kevin Burke out in LA for a game break. All right, Kevin, welcome back. Glad to have you back as well. 1 ball, no strikes here to Cheslor Cuthbert. 1 for 1, a double, a walk, a run scored. All right, so the numbers, obviously, Giancarlo Stanton feels very comfortable against DeGrom. I mean, that was just a mammoth shot by Stanton. As a pitcher, CJ, when somebody is as comfortable right now as Stanton is, when you have the velocity that DeGrom has, at what point do you try to make Giancarlo feel uncomfortable in the batter's box?
I think you always do that whenever you're dealing with a big right-handed power hitter as a right-handed pitcher. I mean, any pitcher for that matter, but you absolutely want to make sure that that guy is going to be uncomfortable. You have to move his feet, especially after he's already gotten some good swings off of you. You come back and you try to work the slider down in a way to go with it as well. But there's just certain guys that have your number. You can do it once, and if he gets back in there and he's comfortable, there's not a lot you can do about it. But I got a chance to look at that home run, and that was an absolute mammoth. And I think it's safe to say that the home run derby did not ruin Giancarlo Stanton.
Line drive off the glove of Moreland into right field, and Cuthbert is now 2 for 2 on the night. When I see those numbers, though, you know what I think of? The guy who's being inducted into the Hall of Fame tomorrow, Mike Piazza, against Roger Clemens.
And which numbers? The distance on the home runs? Or
just the overall numbers, the comfort level against a great pitcher. And obviously everyone knows what happened between those two.
Absolutely. There are going to be certain guys that are just going to have your number. You do what you can. It happens to the best of them. Does not matter how good of a pitcher you are. There are guys out there, good hitters and sometimes hitters you've never heard of, that just hit you well, that are comfortable, that see your fastball well. It's not the same for everybody. It's part of what makes I think this sport so interesting and fun to watch.
Eric Hosmer had the RBI ground out back in the 1st and a fly out to center to end the 3rd. That threat in the 3rd inning for the Royals with runners on 1st and 2nd and 2 outs. 3-1 bottom half of the 5th. Texas leading Kansas City. And the breaking ball in their first strike, 1-1. But my point, I guess, was, does DeGrom try to throw high and tight, get him off the plate, do something so he's not as comfortable his next time up?
I'm sure he has maybe in the past. If you got, like I said, if you got a guy that's comfortable in getting big swings against you, you always try to adjust, especially when it's a guy in your division that you're going to see a lot. And so it would not surprise me if it's already happened once before.
Line drive caught by Odor at second base. Cuthbert gets back to the bag, and Hosmer has a hit taken away. That was a rifle caught by Odor at second.
It was, and it was a great play, but also Odor probably getting a little bit over anxious here and trying to do too much, because there's no play at first. This is a good play right here, but for me there's absolutely no play at first, and you run the risk, of course, of throwing that ball away. It's a good reaction by Cuthbert. You always are taught to freeze on a line drive, and he was easily back. And especially when you're making that throw off balance, you want to be a little bit more careful there. Not a lot to gain. He was going to take a perfect throw, and even then I don't think they would have gotten Cuthbert.
2 outs for Kendrys Morales. First pitch breaking ball misses outside for ball one. Morales a couple of flyouts to right field. The Royals got a run in the first and nothing since. The Rangers 2 in the fourth and 1 in the fifth. Just missing outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Today is one of those days or one of those nights where you look at the pitch count, but it's not the same pitch count as any other day. 93 pitches right now for Cole Hamels probably is going to feel a lot more like 110. He's been working hard. It's humid out here. There have been higher stress pitches for him. He's absolutely grinding right now. You get these kind of nights, and they happen a lot in Major League Baseball this time of year, but you are essentially now battling the other pitcher. A lot of times we talk about how you don't necessarily pitch against the other pitcher, you're pitching against the other lineup. But in the case of Cole Hamels tonight, I think you do look at it that way, and you're trying to outlast the other starter. You're trying to stay in the game as long as you possibly can and give your team a lead, and so far he's been able to do that. But throw that 94 out, because it's going to feel like a lot more than that to Cole Hamels.
Good changeup, 2 balls and 2 strikes. With that said, Cole Hamels right now is the ace of this Rangers team, and this team has been scuffling big time. They need good starting pitching. There's no secret. They have won 3 of their past 12 games. All 3 of them were games started by Cole Hamels. In the air, left center field. Cuthbert to third. He'll be held up there, and Morales is in with a 2-out double. Second and third, 2 outs here in the 5th for the Royals.
This looked like a breaking ball that hung up in the zone, and I mentioned Cole Hamels grinding and trying to make pitches and execute and put hitters away. And there it is, and that's not a bad pitch at all. Credit the hitter in that situation. And Kendrys Morales, good located curveball down backdoor, trying to get that called strike. And instead, Morales does a nice job of staying on it and driving that ball in the left center field.
Can Salvador Perez come through here for the Royals? Second and third, 2 outs, 96 pitches in the game for Cole Hamels. Trying to get out of a jam yet again. Perez, a big swing at that first pitch fastball, fouls it straight back. Salvador Perez is 0 for 2.
I'll tell you what here, for me, I'm being very careful. You have an open base. You have Alex Gordon on deck. Yes, I mentioned Alex Gordon, and it looked like he's gotten a couple of good looks at Cole Hamels tonight, but I still play the odds lefty on lefty. Salvador Perez will chase the ball out of the zone. For me, I'm not throwing him a strike. I'm giving him that opportunity to chase something out of it. And if you walk him, so be it.
Off the end of the bat, shallow left, going out as Andrus makes the catch in the outfield grass, and Cole Hamels is doing his best Houdini here tonight in Kansas City. Keeps on getting in trouble, keeps on getting out of trouble. We have played 5. It's 3-1 Texas. Rangers, and nobody sees sports quite the way Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock do. The brains to know and the guts to say. Catch Colin and Jason as they team up for FS1's new daily sports talk show, Speak for Yourself, weeknights at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific.
Followed by
MLB Whip Arounds.
That's right, believe it, baby, every night on FS1. A good combination when you got Colin and Jason doing their thing, and then usually me and Frank Thomas, Dontrell Willis,
well, usually
Kevin Burkhardt, Chris Myers,
okay, so
Jimmy Rollins on Thursday and Friday night.
The good combination, I would say, you know, Jimmy and Kevin and Chris and Dontrell,
Mark Sweeney.
I mean, Mark Sweeney. You know, you threw your name
Eric
in there.
Karros.
I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of, you know. I think those other guys are the headliners.
It's fine. I don't mind if you don't want to watch when I'm not, or you want DVR, maybe watch it later. That's all okay.
Rougned Odor is facing the new pitcher, Joakim Soria, and he is behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Soria has appeared in 41 games, 3-4, 3.6 ERA, 40 innings, 17 walks, 37 strikeouts. Opponents batting .252 against him. Comes in replacing Ventura, and the slow breaking ball down the first baseline, foul, and it stays 1-2.
And for Rougned Odor, one of the few in this Texas Rangers lineup that's happy to see a different pitcher. We saw Yordano Ventura struggle, but Odor, the only one in this lineup to strike out twice, and the one that we saw in his last at bat, swung at a breaking ball in the dirt, missed it by a foot. It ended up being a wild pitch, or would have been a wild pitch, but he did not run. So he obviously was struggling mightily against Ventura, so maybe a different look and a little bit more comfortable against Joakim Soria.
2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Joakim Soria, his second stint with the Royals, was an all-star closer with this team back when the Royals weren't what they are today, meaning when they weren't a playoff contender seemingly year after year. And they had what you have right now with some teams, an all-star closer on what was a last place or a 4th place team. And where is the value with that? And now Wade Davis, as we look at him being an all-star closer for this team, and Odor strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. And sometimes there's more value with a guy like a Joakim Soria back in the day. Wade Davis, that's up in the air, but when you look at what the Yankees have in trading those pieces and getting more pieces for your team for the future.
Yeah, it absolutely makes no sense to hold on to a closer. Yes, when you're rebuilding, your team is not good. Losing leads late can be extremely deflating. You feel like you got a game in hand. If you don't have a strong bullpen, it can be tough. The Cincinnati Reds are going through that right now in 2016. But if there's value in that guy and you get young pieces in return, you absolutely make that deal. And that's the conversation surrounding the Yankees right now, is whether or not they really are contenders, and should they move on from Aroldis Chapman, who's a free agent at the end of the year. For me, that answer is yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know why there is a debate. I think it's that clear cut. 1 ball, 1 strike to Elvis Andrus, who walked his last time up, is also fouled out.
I think part of it is Yankee ownership and whether or not they actually want to admit that they're moving on from the season and selling off pieces. That is not something that we're used to seeing the New York Yankees do, but from a baseball standpoint, it makes perfect sense.
A 1-hopper to short, high throw by Escobar, and this goes into the seats, and Andrus will get awarded second base. This might be a base hit and an error.
That would make the most sense to me. I don't think Elvis was going to be able, or excuse me, Escobar was going to be able to throw out Elvis Andrus in a situation. Ball was hit hard. Now, maybe because he didn't plant his feet, he would have been able to throw him out. So we'll see what they ultimately decide on that one. You see how he kept running and throwing it and trying to rush that throw? It was like a quarterback rolling out of the pocket. Had he planted and made a good throw, Andrus is probably out.
It is a hit and an error. Infield single, E6 throw. Runner at second, 1 out now for Mitch Moreland. The shift is on for Moreland. 3 guys on the right side of the infield.
You see the Yankees there 7 games back, just a game over 500. As we talk about what they should do, part of it is how far back you are. Part of it, I think you have to be honest with your 25-man roster and saying, is this a team that can really leapfrog the Toronto Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox and everybody else you're trying to hold off for that wild card? For me, the objective answer is no, but when you run that team or you own that team, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to make that decision and let your fan base know. We don't think we're going to be able to get it done this year. We're going to move on from Carlos Beltran. We're going to move on from Aroldis Chapman.
This kicks off Perez. Soria makes a throw to third, and they got him. Jeff Bannister comes out of the dugout, says, hold on. This ricocheted off of Salvador Perez. Let's take a look. They do. Cuthbert had his foot in front of the bag, and the hand of Elvis Andrus was on the foot of Cuthbert.
What a great call, because as you watch it live, and as Jeff Bannister watched it live, it looked like the hand got there before the tag, and it did. But the hand went straight into the left foot and the left spike of Cheslor Cuthbert. What a play by Soria. A lot of times you're not thinking about that. It was almost like he fielded a bunt and tried to make a throw to third. It's a 2-1-5 in your scorebook, I think. That is it?
That's what I was thinking too. I've never seen that before.
Does Perez actually get an assist on that? I think not. I don't know. Maybe it's just a 1-5 on the wild pitch. No, I don't know. Ball in the dirt. Great job. Great reaction by Soria. Look at that bounce. I mean, straight back at him, and then the fact that he slides into Cuthbert's spike, you know, another couple inches to the left or the right, and he's safe. 2 outs now. Base is empty. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Moreland. And what did Jeff Bannister say to you and I before the game? And you hear this a lot. And you were talking about great game of baseball and the ups and downs that they have been going through. And he was reminiscing, just, you know, talking about his career and everything he's seen. He said, there's going to be something tonight, guys. You're going to watch this game, and you're going to see something you have never, ever seen before. And that was it right there. Never seen that one before. 2-2 called, strike 3 on the outside corner. Well, we saw something we never saw before. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 3-1 Rangers. Half of the 6th inning, 3-1 Rangers on top of the Royals. For the Rangers, it is their right fielder Nomar Mazara, 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs, a 2-run home run RBI double. Cole Hamels has been battling 5 innings, 98 pitches, just 1 run.
It was unearned back in the first, and the first pitch to Gordon is ripped foul, and everybody got out of the way. Cuthbert 2 for 2, a double, a single, a run scored. Giordano Ventura cruised through 3, then struggled in the 4th and the 5th. And we just heard that he did leave the game, made the final out of the 5th inning on a comebacker by Adrian Beltre, but left the game with a right wrist contusion. X-rays were negative. He's day-to-day, but I dare you to say right wrist 10 times fast.
It's all you, buddy. That's the play-by-play guy. I don't have to do that job.
Gordon takes it up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hamels now at 100 pitches on the night. Game time temperature was 94 degrees. And the breaking ball misses. 2-1. Gordon walked his last time up, has also flown out to center field.
This is an interesting at bat for me. I mentioned it last inning. Cole Hamels and Alex Gordon. The matchup on paper seems to favor Cole Hamels by a lot, but there was a good swing by Gordon in the 2nd, and then a walk ultimately in the 4th, and so he's put together a couple of good at bats. And as we see the pitch count start to get up there at 102, you start to wonder about the fatigue factor as Cole Hamels will try to get through this inning. We've already seen some action in the Texas Rangers bullpen. We continue to see it right now. He'll have to keep his pitch count down if he wants to finish this 6th.
Tony Barnett continues to throw in the bullpen for the Rangers. Breaking ball waved at and missed, and Chirinos will tag out Gordon. That is strikeout number 3 for Cole Hamels. Time for a game break. Let's go back to LA and check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Well, I mean, it's only fitting when you have a Gnome giveaway to be having a nice day.
And I'm a big fan of the Gnome. I think the bobblehead has run its course. The Garden Gnome is an excellent idea. I think Noah Syndergaard probably had the best one. The Mets ones, the Mets guys with the hair, I think is a really good fit for the Garden
So
Gnome.
how long of a run does the Gnome have?
That'll be at least, I'd say, 5 to 7 years probably. We play it a little bit longer with things. I don't know if you saw the Brock Holt pet rock in Boston last week.
Paulo Orlando right back up the middle for a base hit. His 2nd hit of the game. I did not see the pet rock for Brock Holt.
Made sense. You didn't get it. Brock, right? So pretty good idea. And also we'll tell you that people will go to a ballpark to get anything free.
Here comes Bannister. And for Cole Hamels, it looks like this will be it for him. 105 pitches. And there is the call to the bullpen. Tony Barnett will be coming in for the Rangers. Hamels tried to get through 6. It was a struggle to get through 5 in a 3rd, but he will leave with the lead. The Rangers trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. Bottom half of the 6th, 1 out, runner on first, and the Rangers on top 3-1. First pitch from Tony Barnett to Brett Eibner is taken low and outside for ball one. Hamels talking right now with Derek Holland. Tony Barnett, 38 games, 6-3, a 2.25 ERA. 32 strikeouts, 12 walks, and 44 innings, a 2.55 opponent batting average. A throw over to first. Orlando back in safely. 5 for 6 in stolen bases for Paulo Orlando. Eibner walked his last time up, reached his first time on the throwing error by Elvis Andrus. On the outside corner, 1-1.
See a fastball there from Barnett at 92 miles an hour. He's an interesting guy in the sense that he only throws about 36% fastballs. That is an extremely low number. That'll put him near the bottom, probably 5 or 6 of relief pitchers in Major League Baseball. It's a lot of cutters, a lot of breaking balls. Very interesting that he stays away from the fastball as much as he does.
Fouled back, 1-2. So if that's true, would that mean that back in the day Mariano Rivera threw the fewest amount of fastballs?
Absolutely. And you get guys like Kenley Jansen, the same thing. Now sometimes with the algorithms that they use to register pitches, that cutter will show up as a fastball if it's a true legitimate 4-seam cutter based on the way that the ball spins. But yes, absolutely. Now obviously Mariano did it with one really dominant pitch, but it's rare that you see relievers, especially late inning relievers, guys coming in big situations that aren't side armors, that throw so few fastballs the way that Tony Barnett does.
1-2. Spinning back into fair territory, picked up by Moreland, and he will step on the bag for the out. Down to second base goes Orlando. Little cue ball action.
This ball had serious English on it, and this is what happens as you see Orlando. He's emulating the swing right there, but a ball off the very end of the bat, and it was foul most of the way. Watch the angle here. It's a slider, looks like, or a cutter. Look how this ball comes back. Good job by Mitch Moreland to go ahead and pick that up right away. Take the out at first base. You already got one, but that is amazing. You don't see that too often coming off a right-handed bat, right? It's one thing when it's a lefty, but not from a righty. You don't see the ball spin in that direction.
2 away now for Christian Colon, looking for his first hit. Colon grounded into a double play and struck out his last time up. A pickoff play at second. Back in safely is Orlando.
And if you're wondering if Orlando is going to try to steal third with 2 outs, the answer to that is no. But what you are trying to do in that situation is keep him close. You don't want him walking off second base. You don't want him getting a huge lead, a good secondary where he can easily score. He's going to get a good jump anyway with 2 outs. But if you can keep him a couple of steps closer or have him leaning back towards second base, that's a big advantage. Ends up being a couple of steps shorter toward home plate, which can make all the difference in the world on a close play.
Orlando does run well at second base. 1 ball, no strikes to Christian Colon. Bottom half of the 6th. 3-1. Rangers leading the Royals. Justin Kutcher alongside CJ Nitkowski here on FS1. Game 2 of this 3-game series between the first place Texas Rangers out of the AL West and the third place Royals out of the Central. And a swing and a miss by Colon, 1-1. The finale of this series is tomorrow afternoon. It is A.J. Griffin against Edinson Volquez. A 1:15 start time. A.J. Griffin 3-1, a 4.26 ERA. Volquez 8-8, a 4.72 ERA. And if you joined us late, didn't see our open, we focused on the starting pitching. It's been a problem for both teams this year.
The conversation that happens a lot for organizations right now is how far in do you want to go? And last year the Kansas City Royals went all the way in. They gave up 3 legitimate left-handed pitching prospects to get their hands on Johnny Cueto. They got their ring. Doesn't matter if all 3 of those guys turn out to be Hall of Famers with the Reds. It was worth it. When you get the ring, it is worth it every single time. But it is a big chance that they took and one that ultimately paid off. And so organizations are having those conversations right now and saying, God, we got a chance to get our hands on a guy that could help us win one, but we got to give up a lot to do it. And in this day and age, more and more organizations are reluctant to give up young pieces that they think could really help their team in the future.
2 balls and 1 strike to Colon. Foul tip. Chirinos got nicked with that, as did the home plate umpire Chad Fairchild. So Fairchild goes out to give Chirinos a little bit of a breather. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Colon. And with that said, CJ, you saw what the Royals did last year. They went for it. They got their ring. A lot of speculation surrounding the Chicago Cubs, and their main trade piece is a guy by the name of Kyle Schwarber, who's out this year. And people say, should they give him up or should they not if they can get an Andrew Miller or Aroldis Chapman?
Andrew Miller, yes.
If you can get
Aroldis
Miller,
Chapman, no.
You give up Schwarber. You haven't won a World Series since 1908. You've got a chance to do it. Do it.
And they won't. But I'm with you. I agree that it should be done, but it's not going to happen in Chicago.
Colon strikes out to end the inning. So once again, the Royals leave a man on base. That's 8 in the ball game. They trailed 3-1. Top of the 7th here in Kansas City on a warm evening in the Midwest. 3-1. Rangers leading the Royals. 2 runs in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. All the RBIs coming courtesy of Nomar Mazara. Robinson Chirinos takes the pitch outside from Joakim Soria. 1 ball, no strikes. Chirinos 0 for 2, a fly out to right. And he grounded into a fielder's choice back in the 4th. Foul back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. And CJ, if you look out beyond right field, there's a little bit of a rainbow.
Will it make it any cooler here? No. Does Rainbow have that kind of capability? That's what I'm interested in most. Looks nice, though.
Beautiful setting here in Kansas City. Going outside.
I think you're lying, Justin.
I don't see it there.
Justin seeing rainbows.
Two balls, 1 strike to Chirinos. And now 3 balls and 1 strike. See, there it is. I'm not just seeing things. Inside, a leadoff walk to Chirinos. The best seats at every ballpark for every game. Visit MLB.com/tickets today. You had pretty good seats at the Angels game last week, huh?
Yeah, it's rare that you get an opportunity to really take in a game, but went down to the Angels game. This was last Sunday. Watch them take on the Chicago White Sox. Watch Albert Pujols hit 2 home runs.
DeShields puts down the bunt. Soria has the play to first. That'll be a sacrifice 1-3.
And obviously our audience is baseball fans, and so they've experienced it, but it is so worth it. I push for this all the time. We are so busy these days as we see Delino DeShields. He bunts that ball, even though it's a ball. A lot of times you're taught not to go above where you have your bat, but he felt like he could get it down, and he did. Did a nice job of deadening the ball. But think about how busy we are these days. We are all guilty of being on our phones too much, doing too much, constantly busy. Coming to a baseball game gives you that opportunity to sit with your friends, your family, take in a game. It's got a really nice pace. Obviously, they love it here in Kansas City. They get tremendous crowds, but can't really have the same experience with other sports. And other sports are fun to watch, and they all have their different paces to them. But baseball is something special in that regard, where you get to really sit, take in a game with your family, and have conversations during the game. You really can't do that during a basketball game, and it's a little bit more difficult to do in football. But spend a little bit of time with your family, put the phone away, come enjoy a Major League Baseball game.
1 ball, no strikes to Jurickson Profar. He walked and scored a run back in the 4th. Struck out, popped out to second, still looking for his first hit. Ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Pulled foul, 2-1. The real question, though, is did you bring a glove?
My little guy did, and I will tell you this: we were fortunate. We got some very good seats. The Angels were kind enough to hook us up, the TV crew over there. So we're only about 4 or 5 rows behind home plate. They don't have the extended nets in Anaheim. I got a little uncomfortable sitting there, and so my little guy had his glove, but I would take it. It was right-handed. But when there was action and a left-handed hitter up, so we were on the third base side, I actually put his right-handed glove on. I was a little bit anxious about some line drives coming our way.
The fans doing the wave here at the K. 2 balls and 1 strike. Big swing by Profar, 2-2. Pulled, first base, 1 hopper for Hosmer. He will take it himself. Down to third base goes Chirinos. 2 away. And now greater coverage of baseball sponsored by T-Mobile. Nomar Mazara, a 2-run home run just over Orlando's glove in a straightaway center field, and also an RBI double. Has driven in all 3 runs for the Rangers tonight.
Just 21 years old. I think a lot of times a guy comes up and you see a guy this size, right? Looks like a man, comes to the big leagues, has some early success, and you quickly forget how young guys like this really are. And he showed excellent maturity. You've heard nothing but great things about his makeup from anybody that has been around him, and he went through his little dip. It seems like now he's starting to heat up. He is seeing the ball really well. He's gotten some great swings tonight. And this is a guy that the Rangers are counting on to potentially be a star, be in the middle of this lineup for a long time. And it's a nice luxury for them to be able to bat him second, because you look at him, you look at the power, you think third or fourth. But they have him hitting second, where a lot of teams believe now you should be putting your best hitter.
Well, let's not forget, I mean, Alex Rodriguez, when he was with the Mariners coming up, he was hitting in the second hole.
We've seen Trout do it. We still see Josh Donaldson do it. Andrew McCutchen, for a better portion of this year, was hitting second for the Pittsburgh Pirates. As we talk about lineup construction and it's studied more, people realizing the 2-hole is a good spot to utilize your best hitter.
It's also changed because you don't have the leadoff hitters stealing as many bases as you once did.
It's changed. That part of the game has absolutely changed, and what you can do in that situation is then if you have a Delino Shields type of guy, you bat him ninth, exactly the way that the Rangers are doing tonight. He essentially only bats ninth probably once in the game, so now he almost serves as a second leadoff hitter, but because he doesn't necessarily have the offensive prowess that you would like, you bat him ninth instead of batting him first.
2 balls, 2 strikes here to Mazara. With Chirinos on at third base, 2 outs in the 7th. Low and inside, now 3-2. Chirinos led off with the walk. Ian Desmond on deck, hoping to hit here in the 7th inning. Fouled, and that one hurts.
See Salvador Perez coming out not to talk to his pitcher in this situation, but to give Nomar Mazara a little bit of extra time. And he's got that protection. Looks like more of a soft shell than a hard shell, but you see it, and the ball hits right above it. So that is inside on his shin. You think about getting kicked in the shins. How about fouling a baseball off the bat and catching right there? There will be a bruise there for Nomar Mazara, but it's a pro job by Salvador Perez, giving him a little bit of extra time.
Kevin Harmon, the trainer for the Rangers, looking on. And Mazara works the walk. Second walk of the inning issued by Soria. And now runners on the corners with 2 outs for Desmond. Big swing by Desmond here with 2 outs in the 7th. Ian Desmond, a strikeout, a ground out, and a flyout. Three-1 ball game. He goes the other way, drives in the run. Stopping at second base is Mazara. 2-out RBI single for Desmond. That's his 59th RBI of the year, and it's 4-1 Texas.
What a great approach by Ian Desmond. And when you're having a year when you're hitting over 300, you're doing a lot of this. You said something the pitch before. He took a big hack at a fastball that was up. Now here, look at him shorten it, the swing, and watch his head. Just down on the ball, right to the right side, hitting that ball where it's pitched, knowing there's a runner in scoring position. He's had great success, 326 coming into this game with those runners in scoring position. That's just a great, unselfish at-bat by Ian Desmond.
Dave Eiland went out to speak with Soria, and Soria can only be mad at himself because it was the leadoff walk that came around to score. And it was a 2-out walk to Mazara that extended the inning to allow Desmond to hit, and now he has to face Beltre. And now Beltre gets into one to left field, and that is gone. A 3-run shot for Adrian Beltre, and the Rangers have broken this game open here in the 7th.
You just talked about the couple of walks in this inning, and so Soria thinking he wants to get ahead of Adrian Beltre. Throw him a strike early, but Adrian Beltre was not going to wait around, not with a couple of runners on base. Jumps on the first strike that he sees and absolutely crushes this ball to left field. Look at Salvador Perez wanting it down and in, and instead it finishes out over the middle of the plate. Full extension, beautiful swing from Adrian Beltre. The same one, you just see that guy's face behind home plate, the same one we have seen for so many years.
14th home run of the year for Beltre. RBIs 58, 59, 60. And can you tell that CJ was a pitcher? His first reaction, uh-oh.
It's happened a couple of times. Old habits die hard when you're watching guys square baseballs up, but the same thing on Mazara. The big thing is that you get it right. You don't want to say uh-oh or oh my, and there's an outfielder catching a routine fly ball.
Odor back up the middle. He's got a base hit. Running hard out of the box, takes a big turn, but he'll stop at first base. And now the Boo Birds are out for Joakim Soria. Brian Flynn is up in the pen for the Royals. It's 7-1 now. Rangers on top, trying to snap this 4-game losing streak. Andrus lifts one to shallow center. Orlando coming in, makes the catch, and that will do it. But damage was done in a major way. A 3-run home run by Adrian Beltre. It's stretch time here in KC. 7-1 Rangers. Bottom half of the 7th. And it'll be the top of the order. Alcides Escobar, Cheslor Cuthbert, Eric Hosmer, Adrian Beltre, the 3-run shot in the top half of the inning. Has busted this game wide open now for the Rangers. Escobar takes the first pitch strike. 0 for 3, a strikeout, reached on an error back in the 3rd, and a fly out to left. Behind the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Joakim Soria did the job in the 6th, but not in the 7th. A leadoff walk, a 2-out walk, an RBI single, and a 3-run home run. Breaking ball in the air, left field. Coming in is DeShields. 1 away here in the 7th. Play Ball is MLB's initiative to inspire all forms of baseball and softball participation, making play opportunities available and fun for everyone. To learn more, go to playball.org. You know what's also fun for everyone? Having ice cream on a warm night.
Eat it quick before it turns into soup. Fan support that they get here really is unbelievable. The turnout for the World Series parade is phenomenal. It was, I mean, absolutely floored. And today I'm eating breakfast by myself. To the left, two elderly women talking Royals baseball with Royals t-shirts on. To my right, a younger guy with some friends, maybe early 20s, breaking down the Royals and doing it well. You and I both know. You hear some fans, they say some things. We hear from them on social media, and sometimes they sound like fans that maybe don't know what they're talking about. These guys were on it, breaking down the injuries and what has gone wrong for the Royals this year. It's a smart fan base, and they just get tremendous support here in Kansas City, and one of the biggest markets when it comes to television and how much they support this team, even by watching them on TV as well. It's been a really nice run here for the Royals, everything that's gone on, and they have gotten the support that they deserve.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Cheslor Cuthbert. Just stays alive. The emergency swing. Stays 1-2. You know, I thought it was funny coming back here in April. Had a Tigers-Royals game and driving to the ballpark. Saw all these billboards. Proud sponsor of the Royals since 1988 and this and that. You're going, where were these 3 years ago?
They weren't proud for a while. They might have come to some games and kept an eye on the club, but they were not proud for a long time here in Kansas City. You know, I played in Detroit through most of my career. As we see Cuthbert go down on a pitch that he thought was away for called strike 3, and those were the lean years. Those were the years where they had a couple of good players, but they were not winning. But once things got turned around here, these fans came out in droves, and they've always liked this team, but obviously you get that winner and it's very easy to get behind. And all these years, again, smart fan base, they're seeing these young guys getting drafted, and they keep hearing, we got young guys, we're going to be good, they're all going to get to the big leagues. And it didn't even happen even with this current group. A lot of these guys struggled. Alex Gordon, Eric Hosmer, when they first got to the big leagues, Mike Moustakas, were not stars from the beginning, but they got it figured out. And then that big day came when they traded Will Myers for James Shields, and the quick turnaround started happening right after that for this organization. Like I said, just tremendous support. And look at that. I mean, I remember watching this thinking, my goodness, I never would have thought it would have been that many people coming out to support their team, to celebrate that World Championship. 30 years since the last one back in 1985.
Hosmer takes the pitch low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. So they had the World Series parade. All those people, the sea of blue. I mean, it truly was a sea of blue. And then just this week, they made the visit to the White House, and they got to meet with the president. 2-0, fouled back.
And now there's Cubs fans that are listening to this going, 30 years. It's nothing. 30 years standing on my head.
This was Thursday at the White House. It's
what a
pretty
cool
cool
moment. Absolutely. For every championship team of all of our major sports, getting that opportunity. Maybe a little bit difficult for President Obama, the White Sox fan.
Ground ball to second. Odor, easy play, and a 1-2-3 inning for Tony Barnett. We have played 7 here in Kansas City. It is 7-1 Rangers. and refreshing in the future of sports TV. Don't miss all new episodes of the Emmy-winning sensation Wednesdays at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, only on FS1. A new pitcher in the game for the Royals. It is the right-hander Brian Flynn. Excuse me, the left-hander Brian Flynn. 1-1, a 3.14 ERA. He'll face Mitch Moreland leading off here in the 8th. First pitch, ground ball, third base. Cuthbert, essentially from the shortstop position, makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out. The numbers on Flynn: 28 2/3. You can update that now to 29 innings, 9 walks, 26 strikeouts.
Check you out with the math.
Yeah, you know, quick. That's how we roll here.
Must have went to college or something.
Part-time.
Same.
Robinson Chirinos walked and scored his last time up. Takes the pitch down low for ball 1. Has also flown out to right and grounded into a fielder's choice. One ball and 1 strike. You know, talking about the trade deadline, what do you think about these Royals? Are they buyers? Are they sellers?
There's people that have thrown that out there and saying, okay, if they get too far behind, you become sellers. I don't think so, because they don't really have pieces necessarily to sell. There's not free agents and guys that are about to become free agents that are having great years that other organizations would be interested in. I know the name Wade Davis had come up. Wade Davis has a $10 million option next year, and the way that Wade Davis has been throwing these last few years, that's a bargain. And so as we see Dayton Moore there, the general manager of the Kansas City Royals, the idea of selling doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, you'll list it on anybody. I think it's always smart to listen. If you want Wade Davis for this year and next 2 postseason runs, you're going to have to give up a significant package to get your hands on him, and I just don't think the Royals are that motivated to do it.
These Rangers a couple years ago were in a position where they weren't playing well, and they could have made a lot of moves to make trades. And at the time, Ron Washington was the manager, and he said, you know, we're not that far off. We've got all these injuries. That why should we sell at this point? Because next year when we get all these guys back, we're in it. Well, Jeff Bannister helped lead that team. And he's been there with these guys, and he's done it for these guys, and so they kind of stayed the course. And it almost reminds me of these Royals, where maybe because of some injuries, or maybe you make a trade in the offseason here and there, but I don't see them being sellers at the deadline for the Royals.
No, and you don't have to choose one. You don't have to be a buyer or seller at the deadline. You can stand pat, and if you're okay with your organization, and that's fine. So I don't think you have to declare either one.
Ground ball to shortstop. Escobar is there, and a 1-2-3 inning works for Brian Flynn. We head to the bottom of the 8th here in Kansas City. 7-1 Rangers. 7th, Texas leads 7-1 over the Royals. Bottom of the 8th, a new pitcher into the game for the Rangers is the right-hander Matt Bush. What a story he has become this year in Major League Baseball. Fires the fastball at 98 miles per hour to Kendrys Morales. 29 games, 3-1, a 2.22 ERA, 28 1/3, 27 strikeouts, almost a strikeout per inning. Missing down low at 100.
Come on. It's unbelievable to see what this guy is doing. Not just the story, but the fact that he comes out and goes 98 and 100 with his first 2 fastballs. He's been very productive for this team. You mentioned the backstory, incredible. Most people familiar with it, of course. Running into some legal trouble, a #1 overall pick did not work out. Found himself in jail. Throwing bullpens this past offseason for scouts in a Golden Corral parking lot because of the program that he was on. He was not allowed to leave anywhere but work. And they saw that. And they saw a great arm when you see a breaking ball down and in after seeing 98 and 100 miles an hour. And they've gotten themselves a relief pitcher, not just one that can help out, but one that has been absolutely impact with a plus arm.
And speaking with Jeff Bannister today before the game, you asked about Matt Bush, and all of a sudden it kind of changed, and it went from baseball to life. And he said Matt Bush comes into his office once every 3 days, and they just sit down and they just talk. A ground ball to third base. Beltre takes the one hopper and retires Salvador Perez. But they do a checkup and they talk about anything and everything. And he says, and everything is on the table. And I was just, I almost had goosebumps when we were listening to it, because Jeff Bannister was saying, you know, it helps me. I learned so much from sitting there and talking with Matt. And he said his office, it could be an escape for Matt. If anything's going wrong, he knows my office is always open. He can come in to get away, but he is there to help him get through. And you realize that baseball is the game, but he's there helping him with life, and it's beyond the game. And to have that kind of a relationship, man, that is special.
Well, I think it speaks a lot to the man that Jeff Bannister is, the role of the manager these days in Major League Baseball. It's not just X's and O's and trying to get as many wins as you can, but it's trying to get the most out of the men you have and leading them. And it's more than ever. We talk about this a lot. I talk about it a lot with older managers, guys that play. We had the same conversation with Ned Yost to some degree. When you first got to the big leagues, your manager was not interested in being your friend. Your coaches were not really interested in being your friend. They really didn't care that much about you. Not to say that they were bad people. That just wasn't really on the table. Well, that has changed now in baseball. The personalities matter, and it is important for managers and coaches to get to know their guys, to earn their trust, for these players to know that their managers and coaches are behind them. And in the case of Matt Bush, obviously some pretty special circumstances. Jeff Bannister has dug in and doing everything he possibly can to help this guy with such a major adjustment. When you think about the fact that he was in a work release program and in jail over the last couple of years, and now here he is pitching in the big leagues, and all the pressure that comes along with that, and all the temptations that are out there, and to help him get through this and handle that, Jeff Bannister and the Texas Rangers deserve a ton of credit for what they've done with Matt Bush.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The count here to Gordon. And the fastball at 98 at the knees retires Gordon. So a 1-2-3 inning worked by the former #1 overall pick, Matt Bush. We played 8. We go to the 9th, 7-1 Texas. It's time for the Grip the Moment, sponsored by Vulcan Tires, the official tire of Major League Baseball. It was Adrian Beltre in that 7th inning with a 3-run home run with 2 outs to put this game, well, to give the Rangers, let's say, some breathing room. Making it 7-1 as we go to the 9th, top of the order, to face the new pitcher, Chien-Ming Wang, for the Royals.
You're talking about reactions I had to the 2 home runs that we saw tonight, the loud home runs, and I finally figured it out. It's because we're so close to the field here in Kansas City. A lot of these press boxes can be a lot higher. You do a game in Washington, D.C., and you feel like you're calling the game from a blimp. But in Kansas City, this is a great view. We're down low. Same thing in Detroit. Some of the older stadiums still have some really great press boxes and TV booths, and you feel like you're really close to the action, and realize that's probably what it was. I still flinched even watching that replay when Adrian Beltre hit that home run, but a couple of guys squaring up. Some big home runs tonight for the Texas Rangers.
Fouled straight back by Profar, who is now behind in the count 0-2. He's 0 for 3 on the night. Did walk and score a run back in the 4th. Wang 5-0 with a 3.69 ERA. Appearing in his 30th game. Opponents hitting .275 against him. And there's a good pitch called strike 3. And so Profar 0 for 4. Strikes out for the 2nd time tonight.
We've always known Chien-Ming Wang to have great movement, and he hasn't lost that. Always has had a really good softball, a really good 2-seamer and a sinker. Got softball on the brain. But you see that ball, it starts a ball the entire way and ends up finishing on the inside part of the plate. After all these years, he still has that great movement at 36 years old.
Nomar Mazara has had himself a nice ball game. He struck out back in the 1st, hit a 2-run homer in the 4th, an RBI double in the 5th, walked and scored in the 7th. 285, 12 home runs, 40 RBIs on the season. And he has another hit into right field. Eibner goes over to cut it off. So a single, a double, and a home run for Mazara tonight.
I'm guessing the triple away from the cycle doesn't apply here in the 9th inning. Hoping he doesn't get that opportunity, of course.
If he gets that opportunity, something has gone terribly awry for the Rangers. Or something has gone terribly awry for the Royals in this 9th inning.
Not the location that Wang was looking for, trying to go down and away, misses up and in the way that Mazara is swinging the bat right now. You're not going to get away with that mistake.
Desmond, an RBI single his last time up. Wang just drops the ball on a toss back from Salvador Perez. Ian Desmond making that transition to the outfield from shortstop. It's nice to see, and we've spoken about Jurickson Profar and how he's played all over the field. In this day and age, when everyone specializes, whether it's in a specific sport or a specific position, to see guys who are just baseball players and they can move around the field and play different positions well, it's nice to see.
It's a great asset to have these days because teams appreciate utility players more and more, and the flexibility that you have, it keeps you in the lineup more, or maybe it gives you an opportunity to play in the big leagues more than you might have if you're an equal hitter as another guy, but one guy can only play one position well or can only play in the infield, but you can do both. You can play in the outfield, you can play in the infield. Well, now your manager has all kinds of options, and if he wants to play matchups, he can give guys days off and put you in a different position. Ben Zobrist really put that on the map as the first real regular to be able to play more positions and then get paid for it by the Chicago Cubs. Ian Desmond, Jurickson Profar are becoming those guys. Now, Ian Desmond has stayed in the outfield for the most part, but the fact that he's even was open to it and almost demanded it really for what he wanted to do in 2016, I think speaks to also what kind of teammates these guys are. They're willing to do whatever they have to do, which makes the kid, the amateur, who only wants to play shortstop, look ridiculous. In high school or wherever level you're at, play as many positions as you can. You never know where your career is going to take you.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Desmond. High and outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Beltre on deck. That 3-run homer his last time up. The other way, Eibner moves a couple of steps, makes the catch, 2 away. Seven to 1, Rangers on top. Adrian Beltre, 2 for 4, a double, the 3-run home run. A ground out to short, a ground ball back to Yordano Ventura to end the 5th. That was the end of the game for Ventura. I mentioned before how it was a wrist contusion. It turned out it was a rib contusion. I misheard the announcement, so it was a right rib contusion. X-rays were negative, so Ventura is day to day.
We'll get a really good idea how he feels tomorrow, right? That's one of those injuries where he had hurt at the time. Obviously, he went down, but waking up tomorrow and feeling it and how sore it really is and whether or not he can throw and fully extend and do everything he needs to be able to do to pitch, so he'll get a better idea of that tomorrow when he wakes up.
Tap foul behind home plate, 1-1. This was that comebacker from Beltre.
See it catch right in the lower rib cage, and this will tell you everything you need to know about professional athletes. There's that moment where it hurts for a second, he reacted, but then you're also thinking about the play and finishing it off. He did a really nice job of that, but we saw him go down to the ground for about 30 or 40 seconds right afterwards.
Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. How about that?
And not only that, but they have not won a game since that date by 4 or more runs. It's a lot of pressure on your bullpen. We know they have struggled. The starting pitching has struggled. When you're playing a lot of close games, it can be very stressful on your bullpen. You don't have a lot of margin for error, and so to get a game like this, give you a little bit of breathing room is certainly
and
nice.
A smile.
A smile from Jeff Bannister.
You know what? And Cole Hamels, the starter, didn't have his best stuff, but man, he fought. Hit to right field. Eibner going back on the warning track at the wall, leaps up and makes the catch. So Eibner takes an extra base hit away from Adrian Beltre to end the 9th inning. Right in front of the National Car Rental sign. We go to the bottom of the 9th, 7-1 Rangers. The country, the water fountains here at Kauffman Stadium. Even after the renovation, such a great job keeping those in play. Such a beautiful ballpark here in Kansas City. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning, 7-1. Texas on top, and Sean Tollison is the new pitcher. 11 for 15 in save opportunities. This is not a save. A 7.2 ERA, 35 innings, 27 strikeouts, 10 walks. He faces Paulo Orlando leading off, and the first pitch fastball is in there for a strike. Orlando 2 for 3, a couple of singles, and a line out to second. Inside outs one down the right field line, slicing out of play.
You mentioned those save opportunities for Tollison. No longer the closer on this team. That, of course, is now Sam Dyson, who last year came over from the Miami Marlins in a trade and was spectacular for the Texas Rangers. Continues to be. Did let up that big home run to Jose Bautista. He's done a nice job disposing.
Miscommunication with Odor and Andrus, and that's a base hit for Orlando. He'll take him any way he can get him.
This is a tough play for middle infielders regardless, and we see Rougned Odor touching his hip and limping a little bit, so I don't know if he tweaked something or pulled something there, but this ball's hit perfectly right up the middle between both of these guys, and we look to the left and we see Elvis Andrus look at Odor, and Odor kind of look at him, and you get stuck in the middle. That's a tough play. And you think about, well, who would you want to make that play? Probably Andrus, because he's going to his left. His momentum continues to take him toward first base, but Odor obviously did something right there, but not enough to warrant a visit from the trainer.
Fastball is up and into Eibner. 0 for 2, a walk, reached on an error, and a ground out. Last night it was 3-1 Royals with a victory. Fastball 93, swung on a miss, 1 ball, 1 strike. 7-1 tonight. Tomorrow it's A.J. Griffin against Edinson Volquez, 1:15 p.m. start time. Fox Sports Kansas City, Fox Sports Southwest, the finale of this 3-game series. Inside, 2 balls and a strike.
See the movement right there on that 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Tollison's done a nice job of getting ground balls, a 52% ground ball rate, which is very good this situation. Trying to throw that 2-seam fastball down in the zone, generate a ground ball, and see if his infield can get him that double play.
Special thanks to our statistician up here in the booth, Andy Bonjean, or as the fans here in Kansas City think, Dallas Keuchel. In case you're wondering, as we're walking into the stadium today, CJ, myself, and
there he is,
Andy,
former Cy Young Award winner.
One of the fans yells, "Dallas!" We're like,
swing and a miss. But the worst part is because Andy ignored him, that fan is now going around telling everybody what a jerk Dallas Keuchel is, instead of really knowing what a jerk Andy is.
3 balls, 2 strikes here to Eibner.
Look at these 2 dummies behind the plate.
Eibner to right. Mazara is there. Back to the bag goes Orlando. 1 away now for Christian Colon. The Rangers came in a record of 55-42 after a 4-game losing streak. The Royals 48-47. Texas a 2.5-game lead over the Houston Astros.
You mentioned something about Cole Hamels and the job that he did tonight. I talked about at the beginning of the game how the Texas Rangers had not had back-to-back quality starts since June 16th and 17th. Yu Darvish gave them one yesterday. Thinking about, could Cole Hamels give them another one? Technically, he does not get a quality start for his outing. He didn't go 6 innings. But I think anybody in that clubhouse will tell you, Jeff Bannister will tell you, his pitching coach Doug Brocail would tell you, that's a quality outing tonight.
He just battled.
Absolutely.
He battled. He was in trouble. He battled. Even when his defense let him down, he battled and he got out of it. And he just gave up that one unearned run. And that's what you need from your ace. And you got a chance with this team in Texas with Darvish and Hamels to have 2 legit aces. And that's why when you look at what's transpired, having lost 15 of 19, you wonder how.
Well, no Yu Darvish, no Colby Lewis, no Derek Holland, no Prince Fielder now.
Ground ball back up the middle. A single for Colon. This is what we're talking about. Cole Hamels in trouble. Eric Hosmer in the 3rd. Runners on 1st and 2nd after a couple of errors. The run and catch by Desmond. Then Colon striking out in the 4th. A pop out by Perez. Every time in a jam, every time getting out of it. Giving up just 1 run in 5 1/3.
It's a sign of a veteran pitcher, right? You said not doing well, not having his best stuff, some walks in there, allowing some base runners. 8 total runners left on base tonight for the Kansas City Royals, but he made pitches when he had to. He was never overcome by the moment. He was able to bear down. It was especially impressive, the strikeout that we saw of Colon after 2 of the previous 3 batters he walked. There was also a base hit in there. He comes back and he strikes out Colon on 3 pitches, just bearing down and doing what he had to do. And that's why I say, whether or not he gets a QS checked off tonight or not, he doesn't. This was a quality start from Cole Hamels.
1st and 2nd, 1 out here, bottom of the 9th, top of the order, Alcides Escobar. 0 for 4, a couple of flyouts to left his last 2 times up. Ground ball right back up the middle. Orlando being waved around. He's going to score. The throw comes back to 2nd, and getting back in safely is Colon. RBI single for Escobar, and it's 7-2.
The Royals still have a long way to go, but trying to make this thing interesting. Ground balls up the middle. I mentioned it earlier with Tolson in the ground ball rate, but here comes Jeff Bannister, and looks like he's ready. Potentially, we'll see. Yep, he's going to make a change.
Sam Dyson warming up in the bullpen. And Jeff Bannister didn't want to have to go to Dyson in this ball game. You got a 6-run lead going to the bottom of the 9th inning. And with runners on 1st and 2nd, 1 out, Dyson is coming in for Texas. Bottom of the ninth, 1 out, runners on first and second, 7-2, Texas on top, and Sam Dyson has been called in from the bullpen. 19 of 21 in saves, 2.47 ERA, 34 strikeouts and 43 2/3, and he misses with a first pitch fastball inside to Cheslor Cuthbert.
Sam Dyson's got the heavy sinker, even better than what we saw from Tolleson, a 60% ground ball rate, 7 double plays induced this year. He certainly wouldn't mind making Cheslor Cuthbert his 8th. If you're wondering how badly the Rangers want to win this game, now Sam Dyson hasn't pitched in a couple of days, so it's a non-issue bringing him in. But had Jeff Bannister waited another hitter, if one more guy got on base, then it would actually be a save situation. If the tying run is on deck, it is a save situation. This is not that situation right now. So Sam Dyson cannot get a save. I don't think Jeff Bannister cares. He wants to win the baseball game.
Called a strike, 2-1 to Cuthbert. A double and a run scored back in the first, a walk, a single, and a strikeout looking for Cuthbert on the night. If you're thinking the Royals, oh, they can't come back in this one. They had a 7-run 8th inning last Monday. They had a 7-run 9th inning against the White Sox on May 28th when they were down 7-1 to win that game. And now it's 3 balls and a strike to Cheslor Cuthbert. The Rangers have lost 4 in a row. They entered this inning leading 7-1. A foul tip on a check swing by Cuthbert.
See the excellent movement on that pitch. Chirinos wanted that fastball down away, ran back over the middle of the plate. Look at the glove and watch the ball. He knows obviously he wants to stay in the strike zone, but that ball almost ended up finishing inside. Great run, but it was all horizontal. You want to get a little bit of sink. He wants that ball going down just a little bit so that he can get Cuthbert to hit the top half of the baseball.
3-2 popped up down the right field line. It'll reach the seats. We'll do it again at 3-2. When you're struggling the way the Rangers have been struggling, having lost 15 of their last 19, 4 in a row, 8 of 9, having lost 7.5 games in the standings in the last 24 days, even having a 6-run lead going into the bottom of the 9th inning, it's not easy. (3-2) misses low and outside. Ball 4, bases loaded. You think these Royals fans can sense something?
Well, they want a reason to be excited, and they should be. They're in the middle of their order right now. The bases are loaded. The tying run is on deck, and there's just 1 out. And for Sam Dyson, he's going to have to go through Eric Hosmer. If he doesn't get a double play, Kendrys Morales and potentially even Salvador Perez.
Some fans left the ballpark. The ones that remained are making some noise for Eric Hosmer. Had the RBI ground out back in the first. Backdoor breaking ball in there, first strike. Flew out to center, line out to second, where he smoked one to Odor, and a ground out to second. 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight for the Royals. A high chopper, third base, Beltre, tough play to first, the dive, they got him out. Hosmer says, let's take a look. The run will score.
Eric Hosmer is going to have a good case here, and right away, Ned Yost, wasting no time, is asking for a review of this play, and he should. You watch it live, and it certainly did appear that Eric Hosmer beat the throw to the bag. We cannot say it enough times. There is zero value in diving into first base right here. Adrenaline takes over, but it is not even close. He will be called safe. But you have got to run through the bag. We see it here. They see it on the big screen, and it is that obvious. And that is why we're hearing that crowd reaction right now. Let's see how long it takes. And this is an issue for Major League Baseball. We all know that Eric Hosmer is safe. They're watching it in New York. And headphones are coming off.
Eric Cooper, the crew chief, made the call at first base. He was the one on the headset. He just went over and kind of fixed the dirt around first base and maybe sets one to Eric Hosmer. The bases are loaded, the run is in, and now the tying run is at the plate in Kendrys Morales. One ball, no strikes to Morales. Doubled back in the fifth. A couple of flyouts to right and a strikeout his last time up. Outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Sean Tolleson started this inning, gave up a single to Paulo Orlando, a fly out to Eibner to right field, a single by Colon, a single by Escobar. And then Sam Dyson came in, walked Cuthbert, the infield single by Hosmer. 3 balls and no strikes to Kendrys Morales. And now Rougned Odor will come in from second. Robinson Chirinos will come in from behind the plate.
Well, this is unusual to see from Sam Dyson, who's done a good job when it comes to his walk rate. And so to see him fall behind a walk, the first hitter, the base hit, not his fault, weak contact, but now falling behind 3-0 here to Kendrys Morales. This is not his game. Walks have not been an issue. And like I mentioned, he's been their closer. He's used to getting things done in the clutch. He's been very good with inheriting runners. He's inherited 16 this year and has allowed just 3 to score. So far, not very sharp tonight.
3 balls, no strikes to Morales. He takes ball 4. Another run comes in, 7-4, and now the winning run will come to the plate. A meeting on the mound, and a pinch runner here at first base is Whit Merrifield. Get some more speed on the bases because that run at first is the tying run.
And I got to believe Jarrod Dyson is probably safe for Salvador Perez if he gets on base as a potential winning run. If he gets in a scoring position or on base at all, Dyson would likely be the guy.
Cuthbert at third, Hosmer at second, and now Merrifield at first. Perez 0 for 4. A strikeout, a couple of pop-outs, and a ground out. Colon, a single and a run scored in the inning. Nobody is sitting down, it seems like. Down low for ball 1. And at this point, are you taking a strike if you're Perez?
Salvador Perez, not really known for taking strikes. It's not a bad play. Sam Dyson is missing down right now with his sinker, and I mentioned it earlier. Really good movement on that pitch. And so Perez chases something. He doesn't have great plate discipline. He's a great double play candidate right here, so not a terrible idea to maybe take a strike.
He takes a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. The outfield is in doubles prevent defense. I mean, they are almost on the warning track.
Nothing can get over their head. If it does, this is going to be a tie ball game. And so you're okay with the runner at third scoring. You're okay with the runner at second scoring. It is the guy at first that cannot score.
Ground ball, shortstop Andrews to second for 1 to first. Game over. A big sigh of relief in that dugout. The losing streak is over. It wasn't easy. The winning run came to the plate in the form of Salvador Perez, but eventually it was that sinker by Sam Dyson that induces the game.